You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Domashevitz.
Hey, bibbity boobity bobbity beeps.
The band is back together.
Wow!
Daniel is here,
and
he is magnificent.
I was about to say, Francis, nobody cares. You give me the creeps, and then just proceed to do the whole show in rhyme.
Okay.
Because it makes it a really good time.
Well, I'm gonna be really bad at that.
Really?
Like with a baseball bat.
Why is Francis?
Where's that
at?
at?
Baseball. It's not October.
Yeah, Francis, what are you doing? I thought you said baseball was only in October.
Well, he's realized that
he better start
when's the
rooting.
Last time the Yankees won a pennant?
Ooh, it's been a while.
So he has to back off the only in October stuff until they actually win something significant.
Right.
Yeah,
That checks
actually,
out.
It's all by level. It's all
It
by
really
degrees,
makes Francis pout. What?
I feel like I'm in a Dr. Seuss book.
I've been reading a lot of those lately.
Yeah. Hey, everyone, look. I'm still bad at this.
Everyone, look, I'm still bad at this?
No, I rhymed book with look.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I only heard the look in this. I was like, whoa, man. What I've learned from Dr. Seuss is you make up words before you don't rhyme.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Otherwise, you end up a schleim.
Oh. Everybody needs a schneed. Francis says it's the new me.
The new Francis
You know
pays
what?
attention to baseball before the playoffs.
Is it the new me now? Because if Francis was going to be a new Francis, I would love that. If we could just get rid of the old Francis and he could be a completely different person. Can we do that? Francis, can we do that?
Would it be kind of like Dylan Betances?
Okay.
Wait, was his name Dylan?
I don't.
You remember Betances?
No.
Wasn't that that was an athlete's name?
I have no idea.
I'm
What
pretty sure
baseball
you made
player?
that up. Daniel's going to Google it now.
I'm going to try and Google without knowing how to spell Betances.
It's not a name.
Dylan Betances! Okay, so I said Dylan, and his name's Dylan, and he's a Yankee, so Francis should actually like Dylan
Hold on a
Betances.
second. When
Boom.
was he a Yankee? And was
his
he good?
spouse's name is Janissa Betances.
That's not helpful.
Well, in 2021, he had a 9 ERA for the Mets.
Okay. I want to know more about this guy because how is it?
How did I pull
hold on a
Dylan
second.
Betances?
You pulled Dylan Betances out of your rectum,
Yes.
and you did it. It's a guy who had a 9 ERA for the Mets.
In 2021, he was an all-star for 4 years for the Yankees.
Okay.
2014, 15, 16, 17.
Everybody gets an all-star when they play for the Yankees, though. Didn't
Yeah,
he?
that's a good
Was
point.
he ever an all-star when he played for another team?
No, of
Without
course not.
the Yankees boost?
I mean, no.
Okay. Francis, did you know Dylan Betances?
Dylan.
And
You can see how I messed up Dylan and Dylan. Dylan's a weird first name.
You probably could have
Yeah.
just said, if you had said, no, I said Dylan from the beginning, I wouldn't have questioned you.
Ah,
Because they're so similar.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a weird way to start the show.
I liked it.
Welcome back, Daniel. We've missed your chaotic energy.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Speaking of chaotic energy, did you guys watch the draft?
Yeah.
What?
I actually think that what really happens here is that when you're gone, I feel like I need to provide some kind of stability.
Oh, that's not good.
So I act differently. But
Oh.
when you're here, I actually think it's my chaotic energy.
Oh.
You know what? That's fair, and that's just because Justin is a decent person, and he knows that I would struggle if he were flying off the handle.
That
Because
makes
I
sense.
would be, I need someone to provide some stability because I'm trying to pay attention to other things.
I can get behind that, except for you just called Justin a decent person.
Yeah, that's
So-
we all cringed when you said that. We all kind of went,
Also,
When he said
Francis said something about chances, and I thought he was like continuing the rhyme, but then he said, "Who not familiar unless he won a ring." So apparently, he's not a big Deli Batani fan. That didn't work it out at all.
Try again.
That was horrible.
Try again.
Not a big Dylan Batansis the Mansis fan.
There you
That's
go. Yeah. Wait, we're not going to start calling him Francis the Mantis, are we?
Mantis?
Mantis?
Mantis Francis?
No. That's
Loving
Tis
the
versus
Browns
Sis.
moves after signing Massage Watson. Nothing surprises me. Yeah, dude, the Browns
We're going
are
to talk about
giant
that towards
mess.
the end of the show for sure.
Giant mess.
Daniel used to be the biggest Browns fan, like absolute Browns.
Yeah.
That's
Homer.
true.
That's
I
true.
remember.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's a weird chapter of my life.
Yeah.
Just
Peyton
a very
Hillis.
of all the teams to like jump on
Couch.
for a second fanhood,
Johnny
the
Manziel.
Browns. It was just a weird,
Really
weird
odd.
time.
It was
Yeah.
your self-hating period.
Yeah, you know, that time of life I was very self-loathing. I was like, what's worse than being a Mariners fan?
Browns.
Let's hop on the Browns
Browns.
bandwagon.
Yeah.
You know, Andrew described this show to me because I've been gone for a while. I forgot what we do. It's a local sports show, which then transitions to a regional sports show
And
towards the
sometimes
end.
national.
And sometimes national.
Yeah.
So I think we need to start with our local sports.
Okay. Let's round it up. Montesano remained unbeaten in softball league play with a 10-0 home win over Hoquiam on Monday. Grace Gooding pitched all 5 innings for the Bulldogs, allowing 3 hits and striking out 4.
That's pretty gooding.
Jalen Butterfield, Addie Kursker, and Kylie Wisdom recorded 3 hits apiece for Monty, and Butterfield led the offensive charge with 2 doubles, a run, 4 RSBI, and 2 stolen bases.
She was on a roll.
Monty was back in action on Tuesday,
There you
picking
go.
up a 1-0 home win over Class 3A Kelso. Freshman pitcher Violet Pierce shut out the Highlanders.
Is it Pierce
pitching-
or Price?
Price, sorry.
Cool.
Violet Price shut out the Highlanders, pitching 7 innings, allowing 3 hits and striking out 12.
More like lowlanders.
Athlete of the week.
Hey.
Kursker drove in Lex Stanfield for the only run in the game. Liv Robinson recorded the Bulldogs' only other hit. Monty won again on Thursday, 13-0 at Hoquiam. Price had a stellar performance again in the circle, pitching 6 innings, allowing 2 hits and striking out 11. Athlete of the week. Wisdom and Kursker each had 3 hits for Monty, and one of Wisdom's was a solo homer. Dope.
Aberdeen's softball team won 6-2 at Balake Hills on Monday. Lily Camp picked up the win, pitching 7 innings and allowing 2 earned runs and on 4 hits. Camp also went 4 for 4 at the dish with 2 doubles and a ribby.
She's good.
Athlete of the week, Audrey Gaddis went 3 for 3 with an RBI and 2 steals.
Also
while
good.
Riley Hendrickson, Scotland Lecomte,
Also good.
or should I say Scotland Lecomte,
The architect.
and Allie Adams each chipped in 2 hits. Wait, that's this? Is that Scotland?
Yeah.
Oh, so fast pitch and soccer.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't know why I said it like that. That sounds weird.
Fast pitch and soccer.
Aberdeen
She can
won.
use her arms and her legs.
And her head.
Aberdeen won again on Wednesday 3-2 at home over West, otherwise known as Chehalis. Camp pitched all 7 innings,
I should just start putting Chehalis.
allowed 2 unearned runs on 2 hits, and struck out 13.
She's good.
Lecomte led the Bobcats on offense, going 3 for 4 with a triple and 3 runs scored.
Also good.
Adams went 3 for 3 with a double, or a double. Aberdeen lost at Tumwater 2-1 though on Thursday, despite a complete game with 14 Ks by Camp.
That's a lot.
But bounced back with a 10-3 win over Schmelton on Saturday.
Otherwise known as Shelton.
Debatable. Adams and Alyssa Yakovich each hit a homer in the win like their dad would, and Lecomte
She's
led
good.
the Bobcats with 3 hits, including a double, 3 runs scored, and a stolen base.
That
Wow.
took so long because I kept interrupting you.
And also, there was so many like extremely good performances in there.
Dude, wait,
Yikes.
just wait till we get to the Pat County team.
Oh, just wait.
Elma's-
Stinking Peck County. Just
Also,
just
thi-
wait.
Also this,
Also this?
Elma's softball team improved to 8-3 on, improved to 8. Rewind.
Yeah.
Elma's softball team improved to 8-3 with a dominant 20-1 home win over Tenino Suck It Beavers on Monday.
No, you just say suck it Tenino. Don't say suck it Beavers. That makes me feel weird inside.
Let me rewind again. Elma's softball team improved to 8-3 with a dominant 20-1 home win over Tenino on Monday. Suck it, Tenino.
There we go.
Jasmine Kish, Braylon Weld, and Chloe Doneas each recorded 3 hits for Elma. Kish had a double, 2 runs, and 5 RSBI. Weld had a triple, 2 runs, and 3 RSBI, and Doneas scored 2 runs and drove in 2 more.
Weld was really soldering the ball out there.
Kira White got the win in the circle, pitching 5 innings and allowing 1 run on 3 hits while striking out 8. Elma lost 5-4 at Rochester on Wednesday despite a late rally. Lindsay Benerick and Emily Comer had 2 hits apiece for the Eagles. Elma picked up a win on Thursday, though, 16-5 over Tenino. Suck it, Tenino. Doneas went 4-for-4 with a home run, 2 doubles, 3 runs, and 2 RSBI. Benerick also homered because she's really good.
Taters.
And went 3-for-3 with a triple, 3 runs scored, and 2 driven in because obviously if you hit a home run, you also have to hit another extra base hit, so triple go with it.
Absolutely. Raymond South Bend softball team dominated a doubleheader in Forks. Take that, Forks, on Tuesday, winning 14-1 and 12-3. Summer Stigall pitched a 5-inning no-no in the opener, allowing 1 unearned run, walking 6 and striking out 10. Ava Pine went 3-for-4 with 2 doubles, a run, and 3 RSBI. Macy Enlow pitched all 7 innings in the nightcap, surrendering 3 unearned runs on 4 hits and 9 strikeouts. Enlow also shined at the plate, going 3-for-4 with a home run, 3 RSBI. Emma Glazier went 2-for-3 with a triple, a home run, 3 RSBI, or excuse me, 3 runs scored, and 3 driven in, so also 3 RSBI. I should have just left it.
Wouldn't that be 6 RSBI? Don't runs scored count as an RBI?
No, when you score a run.
Is when you touch home plate.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
PL Willapa Valley hosted a
In a home run,
doubleheader.
it counts as an RBI.
Yes.
That's what it was.
There you go.
PL Willapa Valley hosted a doubleheader against Chief Leshai in PL and cruised to victory in both games, 21-1 and 26-1. That's a lot. Among a long list of insane stat lines, Lauren Matlock went 6-for-6 across the 2 games with 2 doubles, a home run, 6 runs scored, and 5 driven in.
Whoa.
In the opener, Brooklyn King went 3-for-3 with 2 doubles, a triple, 2 runs, and 7 RSBI in 1 game.
King of Brooklyn, more like it.
And in the nightcap, Jillian Hodel got the win in the circle and went 4-for-4 at the plate with 3 inside the park home runs and a triple, 4 runs, and 6 RSBI. That is one of the most insane stat lines I've ever seen. 4-for-4 with 3 inside the park home runs, a triple, 4 runs, and 6 runs driven in.
I don't mean to be inside the park home runs.
I don't mean to be skeptical of Hodel the Yodel there and her speed, because obviously 4 inside the parkers and a triple in 1 game. I'm gonna need to see how many errors were on some of those plays.
Can we get the video?
Because if she literally ran around the bases 4 times before anybody got to the ball and got it to home plate with no errors in 1 game, wow.
I think the yodeling Hodel is that fast.
She should be doing track instead.
She's faster than you.
Probably now.
Now that he's aged out.
Yeah. Oh, Costa's softball team won at home against Oakville on Tuesday. What is with these scores? 29-2? What? Joanna Rosander was the winning pitcher for the Wildcats, as she also went 3-for-4 at the dish, feasting with 2 triples, which is kind of like a nice steak sandwich.
Also a triple.
And 3 runs. And 7 RSBI.
7!
Which is kind of like a ribeye.
That's a lot.
Ellie Marante went 3-for-5 for Ocosta with a double, 5 runs, and 6 RSBI.
In baseball action, Elma won at home against Tenino 10-4 on Tuesday after exploding for 7 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Ooh.
Brody Palmer had a game-best 3 hits for the Eagles, scoring once, driving in 2, and stealing a base. Jack Alexander, Bryson Crawford, and Cole Gustafson each chipped in 2 hits for Elma.
Sticking with baseball and the sticky stuff, Montesano improved to 6-1 in league play. Just kidding, no sticky stuff were
Go
involved.
Dogs.
Allegedly on Monday, that's how rumors are started. With a 2-1 win over Hoquiam, Caden Grubb. You broke the rules, Justin.
No grubs allowed.
Gotcha. I mean, dang it.
Gotcha, dang it.
Dang it.
Gotcha, dang it, gotcha.
Words.
You got him.
Caden Grubb got the win on the mound.
No
pitching
grubs allowed.
6 innings, allowing 1 run on 4 hits and striking out 9. Joey Bozich pitched well for the Grizzlies, allowing just 2 runs on 5 hits with 6 Ks across 6 innings. He's got a nasty curveball if he still throws it. Colson Hendrickson, well, he's grown up a lot since I faced him in, well, I didn't face him in Babe Ruth, but he struck out a lot of kids with it.
Yeah, now you've aged out.
I aged out of coaching too, apparently.
That's come up twice in this
You're
local
mean.
sports roundup.
Colson Hendrickson got the save for Monty and went 1 for 2 with a run scored and 3 stolen bases, including a steal of home. Whew! Attaboy. Mason Fry drove in the Bulldogs' other run with a double. Knight Turpin hit an RBI single in the 3rd inning for Hoquiam's only run.
Colson Hendrickson would drive you nuts like the Grubs do because he's awesome. He's also just like one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet in your life.
Man.
Elma boys.
When awesome people are nice.
You don't like it.
Yeah.
I know you don't like it. Some people are
Wait.
fine with it, but you don't like it.
You want to find something to be grumpy with
There
him
has
about.
to be some flaw in these people.
Exactly.
I haven't found one in Colson yet. Elma's boys soccer team earned a 3-2 home win over Montesano on Monday. Manny Venegas scored 2 goals for the Eagles, and Brian Torres scored the game winner in stoppage time. Yvonne Rodriguez.
Hey, we know that guy.
He assisted on 2 Elma goals. Chris Tobar
Hey.
and Daniel Shallon each scored a goal for the Bulldogs. The Eagles won again on Wednesday, 4-0 at Ilwaco. Jordan Kane scored a hat trick for the Eagles, and Venegas chipped in a goal as well. Theo Flores assisted on 2 of the goals in that match.
Aberdeen's boys soccer team.
We're Scottish now.
Well,
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen is a Scottish town.
It's Scottish.
Ah. I don't know what the.
You sound German now.
I actually-
you always go back to German.
I read the whole roundup
Okay.
in the Scottish accent there.
Okay.
No,
Das oder Schweiner.
that's German.
Okay. You are all swine.
Oh.
According to David Hasselhoff in Dodgeball.
What was the first word you said?
Das
Das.
oder
Okay.
Schweiner.
Yeah. Okay,
Maybe I
that checks
said it
out.
wrong.
That No,
Okay.
it checks out. You got it.
You really seem like you know German.
I know some.
Do you?
I took it for 2 years in college.
You
I
are-
should retain
wow.
a little bit.
Okay. 9.
9. Scheiß. Oh, shoot.
Scheiße.
Against Centralia on Friday. What happened against Centralia on Friday? Aberdeen's boys soccer team won 2-1. Mark Avila and Edgar Seha each scored for the Bobcats. Aberdeen kept it rolling on Tuesday with a 2-0 win over West in Chehalis. Avila scored the only 2 games in the match with 1 assisted by Freddie Hernandez. The Bobcats improved to 6-1 in the 2A Evergreen League with a 1-0 win over Schmelton on Thursday, which is not a 2A team, but they're in that league. Seha scored on a penalty kick in the 60th minute for the only goal in the match.
Elma's girls golf team won the Sibley Scramble on Monday in Union. Elma's 2 pairings of Olivia Moore, Kyla Rudy, and Sophia Hamilton, Maddie Clark shot a 77 and a 79 respectively.
Nice.
To give the Eagles a team score of 156 strokes, 2 better than second place Black Hills. Montesano placed in a tie for 4th with a score of 166, led by Jessie Lalonde and Maggie Kupka, which carded a 76, the second best score for a pairing. Elma won again on Tuesday, topping Hoquiam 197-228 at Highland Golf Course in Cosmopolis. Moore led all golfers because she's really good with a 38, and Hamilton shot a 43.
Wow.
Molly Gunderson led Hoquiam with a 53. By the way, Olivia Moore, really good at golf. Really,
Yes.
really, really, really good.
Really
like,
good.
State champion level good. Literally.
Literally?
Well, she won the state championship
Did she really?
last year.
How long ago was it McKenna Blankus? Or what?
2 years ago? 2 years ago, McKenna. Last year, Olivia? Or was it? Am
Wow,
I
just-
reversing it?
No, I think you're right.
Okay.
Man,
She's really good.
East County golfers.
Yeah.
Montesano defeated Rochester 204-262 in a 1A Evergreen League match on Tuesday at the Oaks Ridge Golf Course in Elma. The Bulldogs were led by Jesse Lalonde, who earned Medalist of the Match honors with a 9-hole round of 46. Teammates Maggie Kupka and Lucy Scott posted identical scores of 50, with Rory Gordine, I have no idea, 58, rounding out Monty's top 4 scores on Tuesday. Okay, this is golf.
Okay.
Montesano won again on Wednesday at Oaks Ridge, beating Hoquiam. Thank you. 197-219. Monty was led by Lalonde's low round of 45 to earn medalist honors. Scott also shot a sub-50 round with a score of 48. Moving
that will
on.
conclude
Oh, yeah.
the local sports roundup.
Dude,
We were doing.
is
the
it just because I've been gone for a while, or did I make that a complete zoo?
You nailed it.
It might have been because you were gone for a while, and yes, you made it a complete zoo.
Can I comment on
Can
that?
I?
I think that I'm so excited that you're back that I contributed to the zoo pretty
That's probably
significantly.
Yeah.
Because I was jumping in there like on a regular basis.
I loved it. I loved
because
it.
you're wearing a Damian Martinez jersey.
Yeah.
Daniel's back across from me, and you know what? Last week, super fun, or 2 weeks ago, super fun with Andrew.
Yeah.
I loved having Sean here.
Yeah.
Nothing quite beats getting the band back together.
Getting the band back together.
I am so excited that Daniel's here that I've been giddy.
Giddy up.
Not like Josh Giddy.
Who's
'cause-
Josh Giddy?
He's an NBA player
Oh.
accused of bad things.
Oh. Not like
Also-
Josh Giddy.
Nope, not like Josh
You don't want to
Giddey.
be like that.
But I've been really excited. Daniel's back today. That means I get to do whatever I want. And he has to be the responsible one.
And as you can see
Oh,
from the
no.
local sports roundup, me being the responsible one in any situation,
Is
not
great.
great.
Oh,
Oh. You know what it's time for? It's time for us to get to the Spivey Athlete of the Week. But wait! First, we need to do a commercial break. But wait! I'm just pausing to give Andrew more time. But wait!
Do you have a legal situation and need someone on your side? Let the law office of Jeffrey A. Domashevitz be your advocate. If you've been the victim of medical malpractice, suffered a personal injury, or need representation with real estate law, small business law, or estate planning, let Jeff Domashevitz put his 29 years of experience to work for you. Call Jeff Domashevitz today at 360-612-3991 or visit domashevitzlaw.com. That's DAMASIEWICZLAW.com.
You know, speaking of that, Andrew, what you were telling me off air there, I almost hopped into like Justin's his last read there where the school aforementioned, I almost said Blake. It's pronounced Blake.
Blake Hills.
Hills. Yeah, but no, Balake.
my
Get it
wife
right.
just sent me a text that said, "You're such a nerd." And I don't know what she's referring to.
Yeah, dude, that could be like anything.
It could- I
What'd
did-
you say at church today? Did
This
somebody
didn't
like?
seem like a nerdy.
Did you get into like
show so
Nephilim
far.
stuff at church
I
again
think
today?
it was because I was like fangirling over the fact that you're back.
oh my gosh.
Is there like a bigger Daniel Hargrove fan than me?
Probably my mom.
Hopefully my sister.
I don't know about that.
Hopefully Andrew's sister.
I don't know about
Wait.
that. I don't know. Is there a bigger Daniel Hargrove fan than me in the male category? Andrew hates you. Andrew
That's not
hates you.
That's not
It
true.
just loathes me.
Yeah, and your brother doesn't like you.
No.
Justin,
Your-
you've never had to live
your
with
My
dad
dad
doesn't like you.
My dad,
None
you know.
of, no male relatives in your family like you.
Ouch. I mean, I wasn't gonna go that far, but
That's fair. That's a very rude interpretation.
Daniel,
I feel like I'm being manipulated in a weird way
I'm the only male
here.
person in the world who likes you.
I feel like you're gaslighting me into the fact that you're the biggest fan in a very weird way.
I am the president of the male-only Daniel Hargrove fan club. Women love you.
I don't.
All women love you.
Now I'm feeling so weird and awkward. I want to go home. You can stay here.
Great,
I'm gonna
Justin.
start-
You've already driven him away.
I'm
You-
going to start a Facebook group.
You didn't even wait for me to give you a ride today. You're like, Daniel's too slow.
we
We're going to hop on the first ride out of town.
We were talking about starting the show
Well,
at
Pax
2
was in the
o'clock and then just letting you know that we were live as you walked in, but
Yeah.
we decided not to do that.
I appreciate that. That would have sucked. I wouldn't have got to say Balake.
You know why?
Why?
Because I was taking your feelings into consideration. Because I am the only male person in the world who likes you. I'm going to start a Facebook group that's male-only fans of Daniel Hargrove, and I will be the only member.
Except
and he won't allow
I'm
anyone else to
I'm making a
join.
private group, and no one will be allowed to join. If I opened it up to women, you'd have
If he
dozens.
Except-
opened it up to anyone, people would join, but he won't let them.
Nope.
I thought you were going to spell it MAIL. The mail only. You have to mail in your applications.
That works too.
Yeah. We should change the subject to
Why?
anything as quickly as possible. I've never felt so uncomfortable on this show
I don't think that's true.
as I do
Welcome
right
back,
now.
Daniel.
It's
put
close.
I've put you in more uncomfortable situations before.
This is darn close.
You want to talk about Spivey Athlete of the Week?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Tell me other people you're a big fan of.
you want to know what other people I'm a big fan of?
Well,
Drake May,
no. Gosh dang
Vince
it.
Carter, Tyler Hansbrough.
What
Like, it's just going to be a
about...
long list of Tar Heels.
No, it
basketball
was...
players.
Peyton Manning, probably.
Oh, that would be on the list.
Was it Addie Kersker?
Hoping
Is that who
so.
you were talking about? Who you kept saying? Oh, it was Price, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Price, really good.
yeah. You didn't put the nominations in the show sheet
We had a few that came
for
in,
me to cheat, and just read those.
We had a few that came in a little bit on the later side.
Oh, tough luck. You know they missed the deadline.
No, there's no deadline.
Oh,
Yeah.
there isn't.
Well, the deadline
Are you
is
sure?
the deadline is now
When we announce
Like,
it.
Yeah.
I mean, the deadline is like 5 minutes.
If
Yes,
somebody
okay.
commented in here right now, like Renasia Burtonshaw
Unless-
was elected to the Olympic team, she'd probably win it. Wait, was she elected to the Olympic team? Just
Is that an election?
Do you
I don't
want to
know.
talk about Renasia
she's
for a
voted
minute?
in democratically.
We didn't have a show last week.
She real fast.
So. Oh.
She makes fast
Okay,
people
my wife
look
was a-
not
did we-
fast.
okay,
Did
hold
we
on a
select
second.
an athlete of the week last week?
Yeah,
without
it
the
was
show?
it was Renasia.
Okay, so
Yeah.
But before we talk about Renasia, which I do want to do, my wife texted me that when I was listing off people I'm a fan of, that she should have been included on that list.
she's right.
She also said
Ooh.
that she's the greatest good I'm ever going to have,
Yeah.
which is a quote from The Incredibles.
Yes, it
in
is.
case you didn't
I'm the
know.
greatest good you're gonna ever have.
Where is my super suit?
It's for the greater good.
You tell me where my suit is, woman.
I am the greatest good.
Anyway,
I am your wife.
Renasia, she didn't just break her own record. She kind of shattered it.
She broke her own record's ankles.
She went from I
What
want to
year of
say
school is she in? now?
freshman.
Yeah.
She's a freshman. I want to say her original
So
school
wild.
record was 12.48 in the 100.
Jeez.
She ran a 12.28
Oh my gosh.
as athlete of the week last week, and I went to my wife texted me I shouldn't imitate other races. I apologize. That was a bad job by me. That's
don't
also a 30 Rock quote.
That's also there you go. You were quoting 30 Rock, quoting The Incredibles.
She was quoting 30 Rock.
You were imitating a cartoon. I don't know
was-
what she's talking about
well,
with
it's-
races.
Yeah.
It was
Anyway,
a
bad job by
It was
you.
a superhero.
Yeah. Not my fault.
Superheroes are a very repressed minority, Daniel.
I've been to
Did
several.
you watch a second movie?
I've
No,
been
you
to
spend
several-
enough time around your son, and it's
Yeah.
just gonna wear off on you.
I'm gonna move on. I've been to several college track meets this year. The last one I went to, the time that Renasia ran, as a freshman in high school, would have placed her third. in a college track meet.
Wow.
There was one absolute like freak of an athlete girl who ran like an 11.8,
Whoa.
and then there was another girl who ran a low 12, and Reneja's time of 12.88 would have put her third.
Jeez.
She is a freshman in high school,
Yeah.
and sprinting is not the same as distance running, where like Jane Roloff, which by the way we're gonna have
Famously never stops running.
if we're gonna have a tough choice in a few weeks when we name a Jane Roloff award winner.
That is coming up real fast.
But
Real fast.
Jane got better as a distance runner over the course of her high school career. That doesn't always happen. Like, distance runners don't always improve as they get older the way Jane did.
It's probably because they
Sprinting-
stop running sometimes.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sprinting is not the
Losers.
same. Like, as you grow and your body develops, as a sprinter, you get faster.
Yeah.
Boy, girl, high school age, it doesn't matter. You get faster. The fact that Reneja is breaking... She broke the school record in the 100 as a freshman in her literal first meet. And she now has broken the record again.
Yes.
She's a phenom.
Mm-hmm.
She's gone beyond a great athlete. She's gone beyond a high performer.
Whoa, dude. Calm down. She's just a freshman. We want her to keep doing good.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Sometimes when we have freshmen who perform like phenoms in Class 1A, they decide, I need to go somewhere
Dude,
where I can be tested.
Justin Damashevitz. Justin Geraldine Damashevitz. No?
That is my nickname.
I knew it. But what's your middle name?
The only reason that I bring that up at all is because the level I feel like people need to understand the level at which Reneja is accomplishing.
That there are high school coaches who recruit people at private schools who would love to poach her away.
Or any higher class school.
Yeah, because
She's-
that totally never happens in high school sports.
Whether it never happens or not, and if whatever happens leads to better success for Reneja, I'm happy for that.
You know what's interesting?
But-
Sorry.
The only reason I brought it up
Yeah.
is because I think people need to understand that we have now jumped from like, oh, Reneja's really good,
Yeah.
to Reneja is going to be something that if she keeps at it,
Mm-hmm.
is disciplined, works hard,
Yep.
and keeps doing things the way she needs to do them, she will be special at a level that is incredibly rare.
Yeah, that we haven't seen for a
Locally.
long time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe since like that string of throwers that we had, with like
Tara
Freeman,
Novi, yeah, Carly Freeman,
Jordan Spradlin. Like,
I mean, we've had some great sprinters just at Hoquiam. Jared Ronquillo was an incredible sprinter.
Yeah.
So like there's history.
But this is
there.
a different level.
I think that
Like-
Reneja is on course to be a Division I level full scholarship sprinter.
Yeah.
And I just want people to understand, like, we're watching now the beginning of something that's incredibly special. So keep your eye on Reneja Burtonshaw, because she's going to be something
Yeah.
in all sports. over
Forrest
next
says
few
the
years.
one meet he went to, it was an unbelievable experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you watch someone move that fast, you're
Yeah.
just like, it hits different.
This isn't hyperbole. Like, I'm prone to hyperbole. I understand that.
You would like win the Hyper Bowl every year.
I would win that.
Hyperbole.
Yes.
Have you seen how that word's spelled? It's
The
dumb.
hyperbole bowl.
That's a dumb word
Just
spelling
watch.
wise.
Just watch. 3 years from now,
Is it hyperbolic to say that's the dumbest word spelling ever?
Yes,
Reneja
there
is
are
gonna
some
be-
worse ones.
in her senior year of track, she's going to have Division I colleges all over getting her to come there.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be an incredible sprinter at the highest level.
You know what's interesting too? You talk about like people trying to poach her away. Is that really like
I don't know if it happens
with
as much in
track? I would think the benefits wouldn't be as great of going to a bigger school, because it's like your time tells
Yeah.
you don't need to send a recruiter like your tape of you juking somebody out. You're just like, here's my time, and the recruiter goes, let me check. Yes, that would win all of our races.
That is fast.
That is fast.
Yeah.
You can run on our team, please.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to like.
Hoquiam also has a really good track record.
Yeah.
Record. They have a really good track record of good track programs
Yes.
and good track performers. I didn't want to really like dwell on the idea. I don't want to freak you out.
For what
You're
it's
freaking
worth,
me out,
Sorry.
man.
The Washington State girls 100-meter sprint record for 1A girls is faster than 2A and 3A girls record.
Oh,
The 4A girls is the 1A is 11.64.
holy smokes!
2A record is 11.95 and 3A record is 11.79.
What's the 4A record?
4A record is 11.55.
Holy crap!
So the 1A runner
Wait,
is
go back
like
to 1A.
1A is 11.64.
Okay.
Bear Creek.
Yeah, Braylon Baker, Bear Creek School. In 20
Go
last
start, dude. I'm just curious. Start at the top. Who are these girls?
4A.
Yeah, Aaliyah Wilson.
Tahoma, 2017.
Okay.
11.55.
Jeez.
For
3A.
3A, Janae Young. Poston's 2009 mark was wind-aided.
Oh.
So apparently she was
That is
beating a
different.
wind-aided.
Yeah, that's different.
Okay.
That was River Ridge.
No, she beat
2001.
a wind-aided one, but that's
Yeah.
still just okay. River Ridge.
2A,
2A.
Alexis Yeater and Faith Richardson from Steilacoom and Renton, respectively, in 1998 and 2018, respectively.
Dang.
Ran on 11.95.
And then 1A is
Braylon Baker from Bear Creek School.
is blazing,
Last
and that was
year.
last year.
Yeah, 2024.
Holy smokes!
Is that at the
2B's
state
12:10.
tournament? Is that like specifically at the state tournament, or is that just state records?
That's a good
If
question.
you go into 1A, where do you?
Wait,
where
wait.
would
It says
Renasia
girls
Girls
state
state
meet
meet
records.
Okay, so,
So
if you go
it's-
into 1A, go into 1A and see where Renasia's 12.28 would fall on the list of 1A state meet records.
Ah, wait, what?
Oh wait,
1A girls.
I don't think that's
think it's
the
a
list.
list.
This
This
isn't
is
a list.
just-
It's a different
Oh,
event,
This
tells
is
you
a
the record.
record.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
dude. That and
That time is insane.
bonkers.
11.64 in a girls 100 is insane.
But I just thought it was notable because that's 1A. Like,
Yeah.
there is...
What's
you guys were
1B?
talking about...
That was the only one we didn't do.
1B is
12.55.
12.55.
Okay. Wow.
2B is 12.10. So, yeah, so there's at
Interesting.
least some parity.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Interesting.
Dude, those
Okay,
times are
So
flying.
that was basically just a recap of last week's AOW.
Oh
Which is
yeah.
important to do.
And also because
Have we shortened it to AOW?
I do sometimes on the posts. Yeah.
Just
But I always say athlete of the week first and
Wouldn't
then
it be
second reference.
AOTW?
that's
No.
what I was wondering. Is it AOTW? Because if you're saying the isn't an important word, is of an important word, so would it just be AW?
I would appreciate it if you don't make me think about too many
Or
things.
should we just say it out loud? Should it just be for this week's ow?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so then the other thing was Grace Gooding. I just have to mention this because I got...
I'm sorry. Forrest just said she chased down Rochester's sprinter in the relay that had at least a 10-yard head start.
Wow.
That's stupid.
We got an athlete
I love
of the
watching
week.
crazy people do crazy things.
An
like,
athlete of the week nomination for Grace Gooding from Monty softball last week that
Yeah.
I think just since we didn't have a show last week
was it pretty gooding?
I want to throw it out there.
It was pretty good.
The week that Grace had last week on Monday against PL, pitched 5 innings with 5 strikeouts and 1 earned run and went 2 for 3 at the plate with a double and a single. Wednesday against Puyallup, big school, came in during the 3rd inning, threw 5 2/3 in relief from a 5-1 deficit, holding them scoreless until the 8th inning when Puyallup scored a run and Monty couldn't answer back. She had 5 strikeouts in that game.
Wow.
Thursday against Tenino, she threw a no-hitter for 5 innings, struck out 12 out of 16 batters, went 2 for 4 from the plate with 3 RBIs, and then the second game against Tenino went 2 for 2 from the plate with a double and a home run and 3 RBIs.
And she only got 2 at bats because they won like 100-0 probably. Yeah.
And then on Friday against Forks, she threw 5 innings to start the game with 9 strikeouts and only 1 earned run and earned the win. So Grace,
So
absolutely, if Renasia Burtonshaw had not
Yeah.
just like been the amazing athlete who breaks school records, absolutely could have been athlete of the week last week.
So, am I seeing this right? Monty has 2 pitchers that are like capable of going for double-digit Ks.
And I think they're freshman and sophomore. I think
What?
Violet
That's
is
not
a
fair.
freshman and Grace is a sophomore. I could be wrong about that, but I think that is I think that's what it is.
That's gnarly.
And they're both really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And one of them's really good aim.
And one
There's
get
a
for a good
Prince.
price. Wait, did you say Prince or Price? Because it was written both ways
I
in
think
there.
it's Prince.
Prince. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
So one's royalty.
Sometimes I type.
One's really gooding. Have we heard anything
Forrest
from
says Gooding
Acosta?
is a junior.
Every Acosta softball thing I see has Jonah Rosander as the pitcher, so I don't know what's going on with Jesse Gilbert. I tried Googling it. I didn't reach out to any of my Acosta resources.
We need to reach out to Acosta Resources because I'm worried.
Yeah.
Because cyborgs aren't supposed to break down.
I thought there's a possibility like, oh, did she transfer to another school?
Yeah.
I missed it, but
That
I
would
searched
suck.
her name and I couldn't find anything except Acosta.
Okay.
Should we just reach out to the robot or the cyborg herself and try to figure it out?
Maybe.
We could do that.
Or at least their coaches. I mean, we kind of
Yeah.
know people out there. Should,
Yeah.
before accidentally spreading
I've just
rumors.
been busy trying to like run a show myself for the last.
Justin
2
doesn't
weeks.
accidentally spread rumors.
I'm sorry. I haven't slept in the last 3 weeks.
Is sleep something that's important to you?
Says the guy who, doesn't start work till 9 now and has a cushy job. Look, I know you never used to sleep, so you're probably still catching up on it, but you have a cake sleep job
Most
now.
nights I barely sleep 7 hours a day. Barely.
What are you even now? I don't even know you. You've changed so much.
Changed. I
I
have
never used
changed.
to sleep.
Yeah.
Andrew's like, what?
I'm
How
trying
much
to
do I
figure out
sleep?
how many hours I slept last night. I worked Friday night, Saturday morning, and got off work and then didn't go to bed until as late as I could stay up tomorrow afternoon. I don't know when I went to bed though.
This is a terrible show, like staying on track wise. Like
No,
we're supposed to be
It's the
doing
best kind
the
of show.
we're supposed to be doing the
Forrest-
athlete of the week right
we're
now.
doing- 2
Forrest
weeks
says
worth.
that Gooding is a junior and Weld is a sophomore.
Yeah, Weld wasn't part of the discussion
Well,
though.
she's Elmo's pitcher.
She's Elmo's pitcher.
Okay. Well, so
But we were talking about Gooding and Prince.
Okay.
So Forrest, come on, keep up. Just kidding. Give us all the information that I want, not just random information.
I think
Andrew-
the point he's trying to make is that we have set, which actually I know for a fact because he has messaged me about this before.
Oh.
We have several really, really good pitchers in Grays Harbor that are going to be back next year.
Yeah.
So
Well, Grace Harbor is the fast pitch capital of the state.
Pat County also no slouch.
Yeah,
like
that's a good
really
point.
good. Great.
Yeah.
Our coverage area
Yep.
is incredible
Yes.
for softball.
Yeah.
It's probably the thing we do best.
is it the
Yeah.
central Pacific coast of Washington is the dominant
Yeah.
softball?
What are the borders of that? Because it literally
I don't
is
know.
like Grays Harbor and Pacific
I
County.
know.
Well, if
That's
you count all of Pacific County, then that literally goes to the border of. Isn't it El Waco in Pacific County?
Is no.
No.
It
Isn't
ends somewhere
that
around
what-
Nema.
No, that
Kayak,
can't be right,
Like
right?
Nema.
There's the one that I
Is
can't pronounce. It's
Wakayakum?
There's
Is
another
PL
one.
in Pacific County?
PL is barely in Lewis
Okay,
County.
so then it ends there. Then, like
Southwise.
between.
But that's east.
well, you're on Highway 6.
But what's the south border of Pacific County?
if you're driving south on Highway 6, don't you go like 20 miles from Willapa Valley to PL?
Isn't Highway 6 east to west? I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Highway 6 is east
You-
to
you
west.
would probably know
Pacific
this
County
better
goes
than I
all the
would.
way to the Columbia.
It does it really?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
it goes.
Is Ilwaco in that? Because they're
Yes, El Waco is in that.
Wow.
Wow. That I'm surprised by that. Like in my head it said
so far.
my head said, yeah, El Waco's in Pacific County,
what
but
about
when I
Forks?
said it out loud, I was like,
Forks
that's
is
dumb.
in Jefferson.
Jefferson.
Or
Okay.
Clallam. It goes going up the coast. It goes Grays Harbor, Jefferson, and then Clallam.
Okay, so
Forks is in
Ilwaco
Jefferson.
is like the farthest southwestern tip of Washington.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. Like you hit El Waco and then you
I'm really bad at geography.
drive over that. We know
You
that.
guys know that about me.
Yeah, just next door to Iowa.
Shocking. Shocking.
My favorite is when you said you're driving south on Highway 6, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right.
Sometimes I drive south on Highway 6.
Other people get really confused. Some
Yeah.
wrecks happen, but
Yeah. I mean, I end up in a ditch, but I drive south on Highway 6.
So who are our nominations this week?
Oh, are we done with last week? Okay.
I think so.
Okay, so here's the big one. This was a nomination that came in from Aberdeen Track and Field.
Okay.
It's a name we're very
Oh,
familiar
yeah, I
with.
think I saw this one come in.
Henry Nelson broke the school record
Ooh.
in the 800, which was set in 1964
Whoa.
at the Eason Invite.
I'm not good at math, but that's like 61 years.
Okay. Henry Nelson ran a 1:53.42 800 at the let's see, where are we? We're at the Eason Invitational. I was trying to see where it is. Snohomish.
Dude, that's blazing.
It's so fast.
Like, that, gosh, does the 800 suck more than the 400? 'Cause I feel like it does.
sucks twice as much.
It just-
as
it
far
does-
as I'm concerned.
It does if you do it the way Henry does it.
Seriously, which is
Because,
like a sprint.
Well, when I was talking to Andrew about this before, I was like,
Yeah.
if we split that in half, it's basically like a 158, 157, or it's like a
57,
57,
yeah,
58,
57.
400. That's a decent time.
Yeah.
Which means you're like borderline sprinting the 400.
Yeah.
Which means, and I've watched him do it, so I know it's true. Henry basically sprints an 800.
Ugh.
Like, maybe you take a little off the gas.
I mean, presumably his split is probably like a 56 or a 55 first 400 and then like a what?
Or vice versa.
Okay,
maybe
yeah,
maybe
yeah, yeah.
I'm not
picks it
great
up at
at
the
the-
end. I
I'm
don't
So
know.
not
maybe
great.
he
I
takes
think
it
you have
easy
a-
on the first one and is
Yeah.
straight up sprinting the second one.
I don't know, like the couple times
Maybe
that I've
like-
watched Henry do it, he like jumps out to a lead and then leads the whole way.
Oh, he just goes?
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe he like chills with the pack and then
I don't
tortures
think he
them with the
does.
last
I
100 because
really
that would
don't.
be my strategy, except for I wouldn't be able to keep up with the pack.
Because
No.
Daniel's strategy is gonna be lazy.
Yeah.
I think Henry's strategy is
How
run
can I
fast
work
at the beginning and
as
then
little as
again in the
possible?
middle and then also run fast at the end.
Oh, the Jane Hole roll-off strategy. Okay.
Just
gotcha.
not stop running.
Yeah.
So
just don't stop.
Henry
Wow.
Nelson, we got a nomination for him, which is
That's
like,
a 61-year-old school record.
yeah.
By the way,
And also
you did that accurately very quickly.
nailed it. Gotta say, he broke, I think I saw the name come in, Jim Bora.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure, and I mean, he had a school record that lasted 61 years. That's like one of the big Aberdeen names from old people stuff.
I've never
I've
heard it.
I've heard that name come up a bunch.
I've never heard it. I'm not a Bobcat.
I'm pretty sure there was I think his grandson
Okay.
was on this year's football team, sophomore, junior, something like that.
Okay.
Not positive. Anyway, interesting.
1964. That
19
broke an 81-year-old record.
61.
64.
I know, but you said an 81-year-old record.
Well, no, I actually said 61.
Oh, did you?
You
My bad.
heard 81.
For some reason, I heard
Because
You
81.
said 81.
I don't-
because that's what came out of my mouth.
Uh,
But what I actually said was
well,
61.
Justin, you know what? It's actually 19 diggity one because the Russians stole the word 60 back then.
9. That's German. Okay, so we had that nomination. When we spend a few weeks apart and then we get back together, this is what happens.
We're sorry.
We're not sorry.
Not sorry.
I'm not. And Daniel, are you sorry?
No.
Okay.
Embarrassed. We're slightly embarrassed.
We also got nominations for the combo of Ethan Camus. Daniel's the president of the fan club. I'm the cartographer.
Yes.
And Brody Palmer for Elma baseball pitching performances against Tenino this week. And we also got a nomination for Allie Parkin from Montesano softball, who we didn't have stats from this one, so I didn't put it in the roundup. But she hit.
I was going to say, if
yesterday.
she pitched well, too. I don't know what's going
Well,
on.
she's the catcher, so.
Okay.
She hit well
Ah.
yesterday, a home run and 2 doubles.
Well, and if she's catching 2 underclassmen pitchers who are both dominant,
yeah.
should we give her some Cal Raleigh treatment? where we give her a big slice of the success pie.
Well, plus she's just constantly parking it.
She is parking it.
Yeah, she just hits a lot of dingers.
Parking it in the parking lot.
Was there anybody else from the local sports roundup? Because I felt like the softball performances were
nuts.
so crazy
Yeah.
that I was having a hard time trying to pick through who it should be. I think Violet Prince also from Monty softball, that she had 2 like really stellar pitching performances. Not only the one against Kelso, which by the way, that's a 3A school, and Kelso as a 3A school has a winning record. So they're not like a great team. But
They're generally a good athletic school.
Yeah, so they won 1-0, and she had she pitched all 7 innings and only allowed 3 hits and struck out 12 batters in that game.
It's a monster game.
I think Violet Prince definitely. And then later in the week, she pitched 6 innings with 2 hits and struck out 11 in a 13-0 win over Hoquiam.
Yeah.
So Violet Prince, I think, definitely worthy of a shout out.
Absolutely.
I mean, Lily Camp.
Just doing more Lily Camp things.
Literally every week,
Yeah.
deserving of a shout out. She has been Athlete of the Week this year, but she got a win against Black Hills. But I looked at this and I was like, I mean, Lily no-hit Black Hills a few weeks ago. And this time, she allowed 2 runs. So, I don't know.
I mean, you're not even pronouncing Black Hills right.
Black Hills.
There you go.
But she also went 4 for 4 at the plate in that game with 2 doubles.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of a big deal. And then she, against Chehalis, she pitched 7 innings with 2 unearned runs and only allowed 2 hits, striking out 13. And then she had a game against Tumwater on Thursday, which they lost 2-1, but she struck out 14 batters in a complete game. She really just has been incredibly dominant all year and would be in consideration for Athlete of the Week every single week.
You know, I'm leaning towards the calling it Chehalis instead of WF West thing a little bit more, because Rick Anderson was always like, we don't care what these schools want them to be called.
Rob
They're
too.
in Chehalis.
Yep. When I worked for the newspaper.
And I was like, really, why? And he's like, well, do you call it Weatherwax? And I was like, no, it's Aberdeen. He's like, exactly.
Yeah. When I worked for the newspaper, Rick Anderson and Rob Burns' rule was it's never WF West, it's always Chehalis.
Yeah.
We wrote that in the newspaper. It was always Chehalis.
And they said that when I asked him about it, he's like, the only time we differentiate is if the town had 2 schools.
Yeah.
2 or
That
more
makes
schools.
sense.
Yeah.
So, like, they wouldn't call it Longview High School because there's 2 of them, so they'd have to say Mark Morris or R.A. Long. But it's Kelso High School. It's not, I don't know, some other random name that they decide to give to it.
Is the Long that R.A. Long is named after the same Long that Longview is named after? I literally just realized that.
You should find out, because that just melted my brain a little bit. It's Long's View. It's not a long view.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Since we've been talking about how softball is so amazing on the Harbor, I wanted to also shout out the architect.
Yeah.
Scotland Lecomte in
Dude,
this Athlete of the Week combination.
The fact that Scotland Lecomte, the architect, plays for Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Scotland plays for Aberdeen. It's just dope. And that she's the architect, because that sounds like some assassin movie or something like that. The architect coming this fall.
The accountant just came out.
Yeah, it's a good call.
She had 2 hits in the game against Balake Hills, and then she went 3 for 4 against Chehalis, and her and Allie Adams were like the only 2 that really had good offensive games. She went 3 for 4 with a triple and 3 runs scored against Chehalis. Basically, she just comes up every single game, no matter what. Her output ends up being one of the storylines. She had 3 hits in the win over Tumwater, including a double, 3 runs scored, and a stolen base. No matter what the game is, whether it's a good game or a bad game offensively for Aberdeen, Scotland always ends up being one of the best players.
Do you know what position she plays?
I don't.
We should find out.
Yeah.
Because if she plays shortstop, as we find out later today, I put a higher marker on that.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. But I think that they're in some of the RSB and PWV games, we had in
those games were so weirdly lopsided.
So weirdly lopsided, but in this one game, Jillian Hodel.
You're right, the yodeler.
for PWV, not only...
I'm not sure if I can believe that, though.
Yodel Hodel, yodel, was not only the winning pitcher, she went 4 for 4 with three inside the park home runs and a triple and 6 RBI.
Maybe I'm a hater.
You might be.
I might be a Hodel hater.
You're a well-known hater.
Maybe I'm jealous. And that's which is also one of the main reasons why I usually am a hater, right? Like if we're being honest here.
That makes sense.
Do you and maybe
if you were to go to the Swiss Hall in Willapa Valley,
dude,
they would be yodeling for Hodel right now.
100%. Do we need to have Portman back on to talk to us about this
that
Swiss
guy
Hall?
was awesome.
Yeah. This is threefold here. A, when I'm jealous of somebody, I turn into be a hater, which I generally...
Haley Van Lith, Exhibit A.
No, stop. But also, every time I hit an inside the park home run as a kid, my dad was like, there's a little bit of a bobble there. I think that was a double with an air. I think that was a triple with an air. I think that was a little league home run.
Did you do it in high school?
Dude, did it at every level. No, I didn't do it at every level.
How many in high school?
I did not do it in college.
How many in high school?
1.
Okay. So we're talking about junior high and younger, Daniel, which probably means there was a bobble.
I know one there legitimately wasn't.
I'm teen senator.
I know one where even the senator said, nope, no bobbles. And you know why? Because it was at Olympic Stadium, and I actually hit it to the wall in right center field.
That's far.
Well, I didn't hit it on a fly to the wall.
No, but
it
still,
rolled.
like, it's still far.
It rolled all the way there.
The distance doesn't change.
And nobody plays deep on me, so it took a long time for the outfielders to run all the way
and
there.
then they bobbled it.
Gosh, I'm gonna.
And then the senator was like, "Go home, go home, go home," because that was his signature.
Yeah, that is his signature
move.
call. He blacked out once saying it.
Yeah.
Nah.
If there's one thing I remember about the senator, it's
He's still alive.
I can still remember things about him.
That's true.
He can still text you.
That sounded like a very posthumous thing to
I
say.
didn't mean it that way at all. If there's one thing that sticks in my memory about the senator, is that he tackled me to the ground and pinned me to the ground
During a wiffle ball tournament.
If there's a second thing I remember, it's being screamed at. Go home, go home, go home.
Yeah.
When I thought I was coming into third on a regular basis, just like normal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm coming into
liked
third.
it.
No, go home, go home, go home.
Yeah.
And almost every time I scored.
Yeah,
I liked
almost.
his base
Almost.
coaching.
And if you ever got out, he would 100. This is the one thing I like about my dad. No, not the one thing, but he always took the blame when you were out at home. If he told you to go, he was like, "Hey, that was on me," unless you hesitated. And then he'd be like, "If you wouldn't have hesitated,
Yeah.
you would have been safe."
Which I probably did 50% of the time at least.
That stat line, if I'm gonna believe it, is ludicrous.
If you're going to believe it.
Three inside the park home runs and a triple.
In one game.
What was the score of that game?
26-1?
So I'm supposed to believe a team that gave up 26 runs also gave up 3 legit inside the park home runs in one game without making an
Wait,
error.
hold on. It doesn't say legit. It just says inside the park.
No,
home
that's
runs.
what it is.
If there's bobbles, would it still be
no.
a-
If it's a
Oh,
bobble,
we
it's a
scored.
double with an error or
Okay.
a triple with an
Okay,
error.
Fair. Okay.
Or a single with an error. And,
A
or
lot of
single with
errors.
4 errors.
Yeah. Why am I so upset about this? I don't know this girl. I'm ruining her day right now.
It's like Daniel.
This
I
is like
typed that
prime
out.
Daniel
I
Hargrove.
literally typed that out, going, Daniel's gonna have a problem with this.
Do you really?
I'm
glad.
I know your insecurities so well.
I'm so glad that you.
When I inputted that information,
Yeah.
I was like, this is gonna be a thing we talk about.
You know, I'm so glad that you had that right, and you weren't like, "Wow, Daniel's gonna be like 100% Hodel for athlete of the week."
One inside park. So example,
Yeah,
Colson Hendrickson.
yeah,
Stole home
yeah.
one time.
And I was like, "Dude, that's awesome."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
3 inside the park home runs. Daniel's going to be like, well, I was really fast. I never did that. anybody was ever going to do that, it was going to be Daniel Hargrove.
Oh, that burned real good. Oh, ouch. Yeah, that's a good point. Putting it that way, yeah, that hits below the belt a little bit.
In case you guys are wondering about R.A. Long, R.A. Long is named after Robert Alexander Long, a wealthy timber baron from Missouri who founded the city of Longview, Washington.
Okay.
So it is Long's
Yep.
View.
Yeah. Founded it in 1924.
Fascinating.
Daniel.
I'm trying to help you out here, Daniel.
I'm sorry. Who's your vote for athlete of the week?
Henry Nelson.
That's mine too.
You look, here's the thing. We all of us know each other so well
Yeah.
that we will know the things that will push each other's buttons.
Yeah.
And, you know, the same thing could apply in a different way if you were more malicious than I am.
That was. Again, I'm actually more relieved that you weren't like disappointed because you thought I'd be like all in on Hodel for athlete
No, I
of the
actually
week.
agree with you.
You were like, Daniel's gonna have an issue with this.
Yeah.
The reason
And
you knew
also-
that I was gonna have an issue with it hurts a little bit, but it hurts because it's so accurate.
Can I say, I thought Daniel's going to have an issue with this, and Daniel's probably right. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So, but also, Henry Nelson, like, we didn't spend a lot of time talking about it, but he broke a school record that
massive
stood
one.
for either 81 or 61 years, depending on which version of
I've heard it both ways.
I've heard it both ways. But I think clearly, right?
Yeah.
Clearly, it's
Yeah.
weird to have two triathletes as athlete of the week back to back.
Back to back.
For us, that's weird.
And this is like I feel like we've done a lot of Aberdeen, but maybe that's just because we've been talking about Lily Camp every week. Like she hasn't actually won it every week. She's had really good performances every
Lily
week.
won it once, I think.
Yeah, okay.
And besides that, it's really Elma, I think, that gets. Well, no, we had Manny Venegas as our athlete of
Well,
the week.
this is an Elma show.
Is it?
Yeah.
We had to leave Grays Harbor County and re-enter Grays Harbor County to get here, so
Right.
I don't think it really
But you
counts as
didn't
Elma.
leave Elma.
That's a good point. Technically, we did not leave the postal code
Wait, really?
of Elma, but we are not in city limits.
Oh,
and
dude.
We left city limits a
Postal
long time
codes
ago.
and city limits are so weird.
Yeah. Anyway.
Like
I
my
think-
parents' address is a Hoquiam address, but nobody
Yep.
thinks we live in Hoquiam.
I do.
I think as I will apologize on the front end, as
the back end?
unceremoniously as possible. New Aberdeen Bobcat school record holder Henry Nelson is our Spivey athlete of the week.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Because we
Henry.
barely talked about you, but you did an amazing job. And
Yes.
you've been amazing, and everyone knows you're amazing, so we don't have to talk about how amazing you are.
Dude, so awesome. Thank you again also to our sponsors, still our sponsors, the Spivey Realty Group. We thank you a lot for helping us do what we just did and talk about this great athlete, which we probably should have talked about a little bit more. You know, I feel
think
bad if
Henry
he's like
Nelson's ever hit an inside the park home run?
he's probably
Probably.
in Little League probably hit
How
that
many in
inside
a
the park.
game? 3?
At least 4.
Who were they playing?
Yeah.
Forks,
Did they give
probably.
up 26 runs? You know, he fast forwards to that part where we're like, all right, now let's talk about our athlete of the week. And then it's an hour later.
Sorry, Henry. I'm actually. This is
like-
the one thing about our show that I would really like to fix.
Really?
The
'Cause-
only thing.
It seems like you really enjoy not fixing it. Like you
It
love
seems like a major
not
contribution.
In the moment, I love it. And then later,
You-
I look back on it and I'm like, you know what? We should have honored Henry better.
Yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying. Like I have a lot of fun doing it, and then afterwards I'm like, oh, Henry,
But
you
if-
did awesome.
But if it makes you feel better, I feel like after the show's over, like literally zero guilt about
Dude,
it.
I want to know. I want to know who was in second place. Like who's running that 800 and just
Well-
like, man, that guy's really far ahead.
To be honest,
this sucks.
actually, because this was at the Eason Invitational.
Don't tell me you took second.
No, he took first.
Okay, good.
But, no,
Not winning with
won.
the school record.
That
But,
would
like,
be crazy.
Stanwood, Bear Creek, Issaquah, Snohomish, Bremerton. Like there were so many schools here.
Bear Creek, the home of the 1A women's sprinter record.
He won, but like the guy who was behind him from Stanwood was only about 0.3 of a second.
Whoa.
Wow.
So there was
Get out of here,
but
Stanwood.
I think that makes it.
My buddy lived in Stanwood. I've hated that place ever since. Don't ask me why.
I think that makes it like more incredible. Well, also, I think probably best for Henry. Whenever you have people who push you, you'll run
Yeah.
as fast.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
That's absolutely true.
But Henry went into this competition against all these different higher level schools. Eastside Catholic, Ridgefield, like 2A, 3A, 4A, they all had kids competing.
And he
won,
beat him.
and his winning time was
Cooked
a
him
school
up and
record.
ate him.
But the guy that was behind him was like literally like 2.5 seconds behind it.
Wow.
3.5 or 0.35 seconds behind.
There you go.
There you go.
Anyway.
So he got pushed and he won.
Literally pushed.
He got
No, I'm just kidding.
pushed
Yeah.
figuratively and won
Literally.
literally.
And technically, he also won.
You're doing the worst job of like just you know what, Henry? You're great.
We really are.
You've always
excited
been
about your
great.
success.
You're continuing to be great, and you're going to be great right to the end of the state
Hopefully, you
championships.
don't need validation from a couple of hooligans
and Andrew.
and Andrew like us. But we want to give you that validation. I think we need a commercial break.
Yeah.
Before we transition into a regional show for our third period of our hockey show after this.
Spivey Realty Group's goal is to make buying, selling, investing, and renting real estate in Grace Harbor simple. They believe in 100% transparency and unparalleled communication with local expertise, tech-enhanced, and top-notch service for their friends, neighbors, and community. Their goal is simple: get a group of strong-willed, hard-working people together who want to make a difference in Grace Harbor and to use real estate as the means of achieving that. Voted Grace Harbor's best real estate company. Find them on Facebook or visit graceharborrealestate.com. Spivey Realty Group, elevating small town real estate.
Thank you again to our sponsors, the Spivey Realty Group, the sponsor of our Spivey Athlete of the Week. Also, thank you to the law office of Jeffrey A. Damashevitz. What's the A stand for? No relation, all that good stuff. Also, thank you to the Mariners for winning today, or at least being in the lead fairly comfortably, so I'm not super duper distracted. I said being in the lead. I guess I did say fairly comfortably with Trent Thornton on the mound, so I should be very careful with what I say with Trent Thornton on the mound.
Last time I said something nice about the Mariners, Gilbert broke his arm. So
Thankfully he didn't break his arm, but yes, you were very close.
I didn't even go in. All I said was him and Raleigh were laying down the law.
I know. Yeah, what you said wasn't even that bad.
I should never talk about
And then
them.
Justin was like, "Oh, the nerves good now?"
Yeah,
Which apparently was a
asking.
genuine question.
I saw somebody in our baseball chat posted something like 4 series in a row or something like that.
we won
Like
5.
5 series in a row, and I was like, "Oh, are the Nerds good now?"
They went.
Listen to that in my innocent voice. Oh, are the Nerds good now?
You don't have an innocent voice. That voice sounded patronizing and satirical.
Let me try again. Oh, are the Nerds good now?
I dropped my baseball. Can you get it for me?
I will get it,
Since
but
we're using-
now I'm gonna hold it. Ha ha ha!
At least I got Blitzball as
Dang
backup.
it. Can we trade? I
No.
want the Blitzball.
Why do you want the Blitzball?
Because the Blitzball's better.
No, it's
No, I
not.
want the baseball.
I want
No,
the
you
baseball.
want the baseball? Ready? On 3.
Are you actually going to give it to
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
I don't trust
Are
you.
you actually going to give me that?
I
Because you're
think-
holding it back really far. I'm actually
You're-
holding the Blitzball like all.
Yeah,
I'm
but-
holding the baseball almost halfway across.
Yeah, but you're
1,
reaching more.
2.
I've never been so
3.
nervous in my life.
Now I have the Blitzball and Daniel has the baseball.
So glad neither of us are oldists. I feel like an oldest move definitely would have been just grab the other
Take
one and
both of
yoink
them.
it.
Actually, I don't want this anymore. You can have both.
Oh, that was kind of an oldest move. I don't
Just
want
prove
want
it.
your dirty blitzball.
You take the Blitzball.
I don't.
You.
It's got cooties on it.
Dang it.
2-minute drill?
Let's go, hurry up! Gotta hurry. Hey, 2-minute situation, 44 seconds, hand the ball around. Gonna do it right. 3 jet Buckeye, don't worry.
The 2-minute drill starts now.
The Seattle Seahawks drafted North Dakota State guard Gray Zabel in the first round of the NFL draft on Thursday. Daniel, was this selection a hit or a miss?
Hit me, baby, one more time. No? Should I? No?
Yes.
Free Britney.
Also, just want to throw this out there. His name isn't Gray's Abel. I spent months thinking his name was Gray's Abel. Because literally every time, and you just did it too, Gray Zabel.
Gray Zabel.
What's his name?
Gray
Zabel.
Zabel.
Gray
Can I try again?
Zabel.
The
I had
Seattle
zero
Seahawks
clue.
drafted North Dakota State guard Gray Zabel in the first round of the NFL draft on Thursday. Daniel, was this selection a hit or a miss? Hit me, baby, one more time.
Hit.
Love it.
I love it. But you can see why I was confused,
This is
right?
the most out of control show we've ever had.
Bonkers. The Hawks used their 3-day 2 selections to take South Carolina safety Nick and Miami tight end Elijah Arroyo and Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroy. Sorry, that name
I think it's Eminwari.
there you go.
Eminwari?
I think you're right. It just intimidates me.
Okay, yeah.
Justin, which one of these 3 players has you most excited, even though they're not Patriots?
I'm tempted to say Jalen Milrow because, like, the idea of him being the quarterback, he's a total multi-tool guy, super athletic, and I think if he can develop a little bit more consistency, could be a really good quarterback. But honestly, it's Nick M. Like, that guy is like Cam Chancellor build.
Yes.
He's massive.
Yeah.
He hits hard.
Yep.
I think he's the type of physical safety that Mike McDonald would like to have on this team. So I think he ultimately is the guy that gets me excited, even though the skill position quarterback kind of made me more excited a little bit. Seattle made 7 picks over the last 3 rounds of the draft, including 2 wideouts, 2 offensive linemen, a defensive lineman, a tight end, and a running back. Daniel, which of these guys should we keep an eye on, and why is it Damian Martinez?
You know, it's actually tough.
Which one is Damian Martinez?
Damian Martinez is who I'm wearing the jersey of, Andrew. It's the running back from Oregon State who then followed Cam Ward, his Pac-2 buddy, to Miami to do great things and both get drafted in the NFL. Damian Martinez, an absolute monster stud. Sadly, Oregon State Beaver running backs, absolute monster studs, somehow don't get their playing time and their shots. They always get drafted on teams that have running backs. And he's going to be slotted behind Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, and he'll be one of those preseason warriors who you're like, wow, that guy's really good. And he never plays again. And it's really frustrating because he's a monster.
Seattle needs to stack running backs because they always get hurt. Damian Martinez is fast and strong. He's Beast Mode 2.0.
He is a monster. He is awesome. He was the freshman Pac-12 player of the year a few years ago. He is a beast. But also, the fullback tight end they drafted, that's kind of fun because he's 6'3", 275, and he has like a mustache. It's like Orzwitz. I was watching some of his highlights. The dude looks like Farva, but like muscles instead of chubby.
Is he a large Farva?
He's a large Farva. He ordered a large Farva. Also, the receiver the receiver from Colorado State looks like a taller, lankier, but type of Tyler Lockett type receiver, more the crafty route runner, also a punt return dude. I'm a little excited about him, but he does have injury concern. This was the first draft I've been interested in a long time. I'll try to not... Wow, this 2-minute drill is too long. Sorry. The Mariners are playing pretty well right now. Justin, you've obviously been paying attention. Does that ease the sting of Eugenio Suarez becoming the 19th player in MLB history to hit 4 dingers like Mike Cameron in one game?
Well, Eugenio Suarez is on my fantasy team, so actually I was pretty happy about that. If I were a real Mariners fan, I might have been like, ooh, that guy could still be on our team.
Yeah.
But instead I'm like, oh,
I'm
that
just
guy
happy for
maybe
him.
sort of kind of won
I like
me
that
my
dude.
fantasy. Everyone loves Eugenio.
Everybody loves that guy.
Good vibes only.
Also, nobody likes Trent Thornton because he just lets people on base and makes games really stressful.
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
He's pitching for the Mariners right now.
Oh, they're good now.
Yeah, well,
Are the Nerds good?
not if Trent Thornton gives up a nuke right
Daniel,
here.
are they good? They've won 5 series in a row, and they won 14-0 yesterday.
The surprising thing about the Nerds is they're doing it with depth, which nobody thought they had. Oh my gosh, go foul. Did that go foul? Okay, it
We
went
have the
foul.
Mariners game on the TV.
Yeah, sorry. Hannah
Oh.
put it on.
That's okay. Actually, I think Daniel's at his best when he's distracted.
I just picked up that Mervis guy on my fantasy team, by
Who's
the way, so
Mervis?
maybe you should hit a nuke.
Nervous.
Mervis. Anyway, the Nerds are doing it with depth, which is weird. Daniel says in the comments, Daniel's so upset he's trying to eat the baseball. Apparently I almost ate this thing at one point. Then he said, today's show, Justin pushes Daniel's buttons.
But in a good way.
Possibly. Then
We
Francis
just miss each
says,
other.
the Mariners are at 556 winning percentage. Should they extend to Poto now? And then he said, hashtag executive of the year. And then he said, Brown stacked quarterbacks the way Justin wants the Hawks to stack backs. And then he says,
They
wow,
need
he's
to
just
stack
on
backs.
one right now.
Yeah.
He says, hey, Daniel, former Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. You're right, former Seahawk. I know. Makes me sad.
I
didn't
actually think-
dude, he just hit a nuke. He just hit a monster
Who did?
stinking
Who
nuke.
did? Who did?
Some dude I've never heard of, Norby, not the guy on my fantasy team. Trent Thornton's the worst. Get him out of there. It's a 1-1 game right now.
So Francis saying that the Browns stacked QBs is totally true. Like they picked a quarterback in the 3rd round and then picked Shedeur Sanders in the 5th.
Yeah, bonkers.
But the end of that comment is the way that I want them to stack running backs. So true.
yes.
Like if you can consistently get a running back like Damian Martinez in the 7th round,
Oh, yeah.
pick them every freaking year.
Absolutely. I mean, that's how they came up with Chris Carson.
Like Kenneth Walker is awesome and I love the guy. Charbonnet, good too. But like if Damian Martinez is your 3rd option when those guys get hurt, you're so freaking solid.
Yeah.
That guy's awesome.
He's so good.
So if he ends up being the 3rd running back on the depth chart, I'm going to feel good because I know at some point in the season those other guys are going to be dinged up and
Yeah.
end up not being able to play, and they're going to be able to throw him in there, and he's going to be great
Yep.
if the O-line is great.
That's a good point. Also, Francis said former Seahawk. Did I ever say Seahawk Tyler Lockett? Didn't I just say he was like Tyler Lockett?
Current Tennessee Titan.
I didn't say current Seahawk Tyler Lockett.
Did you see what Tyler Lockett did?
No.
Like
what he did.
So Tyler Lockett,
Yeah. My favorite player.
widely known as generally good dude,
Oh, yeah. Everybody says
was tweeting. Now that he's a Titan,
that. Yeah.
he's been tweeting every single Titan draft pick, like individual, like, "Hey, great job, welcome to the team."
Of
like,
course he
just
did.
Regular old rah Tyler Lockett. Like, I'm gonna support my teammates in all situations individually
Because he's the best.
because he's the
He's
best.
Tyler Lockett. There's a reason he's my favorite, my all-time favorite player.
Because he's a great player and a great person.
Yes. He's so good. I love
So
Tyler
good.
Lockett.
Everything about Tyler Lockett is great except his hair.
Poor guy.
His hairline,
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah. Let's see. Daniel says 556. I mean, it's small but fast. Anyway, sorry. That's going back to Francis's comment about winning percentage.
I mean, it's better than 54%.
It's better than 54%. And last I checked, let's see here. Last I checked the standings. Oh, the
Mariners
Yankees.
are in.
The Yankees are 16-11, and the Mariners are 15-12. Hopefully, going to be 16-12.
Oh,
so
why,
you know,
why is
it's
Francis saying "Love my Marlins"?
dude, how many teams do you have, Francis?
See, that's the thing. You have locked yourself down. When you're free,
I'm a married man.
like when you're fanhood free, like Francis and me
Yeah.
at some level. You can my Patriots. I thought my Patriots had a pretty solid draft.
Wow.
If you had asked me 3 years ago, I'd be like, "No, I hate the Patriots."
Oh yeah, they're the worst.
You have too many morals when it comes to sports fanhood.
Dang it.
3 years ago. What if we asked you 20 years
Oh.
ago
Wait, about the Patriots?
about the Patriots?
No opinion.
Really?
20 years ago.
Oh,
Isn't
wait.
that around the time that they beat the Titans in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that was. Wait, that was
No, that was St. Louis.
the Rams.
Okay, never
That was
mind.
2001.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay,
Yeah,
my
but
bad. My bad.
also,
My
yeah,
B.
no, I did root against the Patriots in that Super Bowl against the Rams.
Yeah.
and that I think was 2002.
Yeah. Francis says, I just wanted to remind you the Seahawks used to have him. Whatever I can do to cause you the necessary discomfort. You know what? It hurts a little bit,
Justin's
but I'm glad
already
he
on
went to the
that.
Titans. So, you know.
I've been doing a combination of trying to cause Daniel great discomfort while also welcoming him back in the most emotional way possible. Like, I'm so glad
You're
Daniel's-
causing him emotional pain while telling him you're super happy to have
I'm
him
really
back.
glad Daniel's here, but mostly so I can bother him.
Emotional damage. Justin, what did you think about the Seahawks? Did you follow the draft much at all?
I did,
It was
actually.
hard for any sports fan to not follow in some way because of the Shador bonkersness. I felt like, not to make us a political show, but I felt like ESPN went full like MSNBC and was like, Kamala Harris is going to win this in a landslide,
They were
and
CNN,
Shador Sanders is like the number 1 or 2 pick, and all of a sudden you're like, is he going to get drafted? Because wow.
Andrew and I talked. Daniel,
Like-
you didn't get your show prep, but Andrew and I talked about this a lot on the way here. I feel we both kind of feel like the only people who weren't prepared for a Shador Sanders slide are the people who didn't listen to ESPN.
Right.
Like if you didn't watch the ESPN hype train, and you already knew ahead of time that, wow, once the actual NFL scouts started digging into the film after the NFL season was over, they realized, Shador Sanders kind of okay, but not that good.
Or, or if you watched him play the Cougars and look not good,
like
against a maybe above average college defensive team.
Right. Like if you knew those things, maybe you were surprised that he slid to the 5th round, but you weren't surprised he got past day 2. You weren't surprised he got past day 1. So I was kind of like, when I, as a passive observer of the NFL draft, was like, oh, okay, Shador Sanders sliding. Seeing the ESPN reaction and Stephen A. Smith saying, this is a Colin Kaepernick level blackball. Like,
Are you serious?
Yes.
Dude, I haven't watched. I'm so glad I didn't watch any traditional media this week.
Like,
are you insane?
It's a combination of you're not that good.
Mel Kiper, Francis brings up too. I saw a headline talking about Mel Kiper's like meltdown.
It's a combination of you're
bad.
not that good / your situation might be a headache for us.
Yeah.
It's those things colliding with each other that ends up with him sliding so far. But I would say it doesn't mean that he couldn't be a good NFL player.
Right.
He absolutely could be an NFL player.
But
But teams didn't want to roll the dice on him because of a combination of the fact that like your film's not that great in a weak quarterback class, and also like literally Deion Sanders tweeted a couple months ago that if the Browns drafted a quarterback that they should pull an Eli Manning and say that they shouldn't play for them because they're the Browns.
Wow.
And that's where quarterbacks go to die. Like the Shador Sanders of it all was an interesting storyline, but it really shouldn't. The fact that he slid to the 5th round could be surprising. The fact that he slid in the draft should not be shocking to anyone who is even somewhat paying attention to anything outside of ESPN.
Right. It's just funny to me because there's people out there who are still like traditional media.
Yeah.
Just they know everything and we need to believe everything they say. And now it's leaked into sports media where it's like, yeah, you can't trust ESPN.
No.
They're propaganda machines like everybody else.
That's the hype train.
It's bonkers.
They tried to make him a thing.
Yeah. They
better
made him a
than
thing when he was on and they tried to make Colorado a thing. Colorado didn't even play the top 3 schools in their freaking conference.
Talk about Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter is going to be one of the biggest busts. If he was a quarterback, he would go down as one of the biggest butts. But he's going to be, I guess he didn't turn out to be that good. And nobody cares because he's not a quarterback. But the fact that he's drafted number 2 overall, was it number 2? Mm-hmm. And Jacksonville traded up to get him?
Was it 2 or 3?
I don't know.
It was
all
really
I know is,
high.
Dude, they weren't that good. Colorado was not that good. They didn't even play the best teams in their own conference. The fact that Ashton Genty didn't win the Heisman is a freaking Travis Schumachery. And that's not just because it's Travis Hunter that it's a Travis Schumachery, but it's a travesty, a shame, and a mockery.
Jacksonville traded up to 2 to get him.
Yeah. And like, he played two positions. Yeah, he played the cakest positions in football.
You know, because you played them.
I played both of them. I've played both of them in the same game. I've played on a football team where we had 13 guys there. It's not that
Again,
hard.
We're getting the jealousy thing.
Yes.
It is. That is. I had not put that
Andrew.
together. That is why you feel so strongly about it.
Well, imagine if he had played offensive and defensive line, Andrew, I wouldn't have that experience.
Because Daniel can't do that.
Exactly. But also, dude, do you remember how hard those guys worked in games?
What
Yeah,
if you had eaten 100 chicken nuggets instead of 20?
What I'm just saying. I know that
Had 40.
he is still saying he's gonna play both ways and he wants to play both ways.
Yeah.
The ability to play both ways, and like snaps are not a stat.
Right.
He should not have won the Heisman.
Right.
It is impressive, and it does point to a level of athleticism that I feel like he could be an above average player at the next level. I don't think that he's going to be above average trying to play both sides. I expect him to eventually decide to play DB.
Well,
And then I expect him to be a pretty good DB.
yes. I agree with you.
Well,
also, I think that football coaches have their heads so far up their butts that they think it's impossible for people to play two ways successfully.
That's
Like-
I think that's part of it too.
The most
It
likely
blows
scenario,
my freaking mind how all of a sudden your high school athletes who are the best on both sides of the ball can't do it anymore.
The most likely scenario is he's a regular corner who plays receiver part of the game.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
you wouldn't be like a regular receiver who jumps in at corner
Well,
sometimes.
also receivers, like, that's the game, right?
Yeah,
like,
you don't play all the
receivers don't play every snap.
Yeah.
Like this, and the fact that people are like, "Oh, this is so amazing," when you have a player that doesn't even play every position, every snap on offense, is all of a sudden playing some on defense. You're like, what am I missing here? What I'm missing is all of the old fart fogies, head up their butts. Tradition is the way you do it. That's what's going on here. This is just another situation where this is it.
Daniel, you have a liking for Shohei Ohtani because he plays both ways.
Yes.
But then you hate on Travis Hunter.
I don't
because
hate on him because he did it, Andrew. I hate on him because they are
Because
gargling
he's getting so
over
much
him
credit
doing
for it.
okay at both.
Well, he was a
He's not Shohei, who could win an MVP at either spot.
That's
He is
fair.
doing okay, but because he's doing both, they're like, this is the most amazing thing we've ever seen.
well better at receiver.
Shohei is literally the best player at both, or arguably at both.
He's in the top 10 at both.
Travis
he's-
Hunter was
like-
top
Shohei
10.
won
Yeah.
an MVP in the
Yeah.
NL
Yeah.
without pitching.
Yeah.
He is the best offensive player in the league, in the National League.
He was at the I'm trying to like
And when
Yeah.
he was pitching, he was one of the top 5 pitchers in the National League.
yeah.
Travis Hunter
Hunter
is
was-
a good corner and a good receiver in a garbage league
better at receiver than
that
he
didn't even
was.
play the best
On-
teams
on a
in
bad
their
team.
And yes, on a bad team.
But they made a bowl game.
Yeah, well, Travis Genty carried
You
his
have to be
team to a
a
freaking
significant-
college football
Genty?
playoff game. What?
Ashton Jetty?
What did I say?
Travis.
Oh, gross. Sorry. You guys are pushing my buttons today.
You miss us. You miss us so much.
I miss you.
But that's just
Do we want to talk about anything else before I get to...
How about we go to my favorite part of the show?
Oh, I forgot about this. I just forgot about everything we
Questions
do.
up on a silver platter, where the points are made up and the rules don't matter. Time for Stump Daniel.
Why do
forget
I hate
this, or
Travis
did you
Hunter so
block
much?
this?
Why do I hate Travis Hunter so
think
much?
that you I really
Is it
honesty circle. I do think a lot of it has to do with you looking at him and being like, I could do that.
Is that really it?
I
Is
do
that how
think
I
that-
view all of sports?
I do think so. That is a lens that is part of how you view sports.
I'm a terrible person
Daniel's
if that's
learning-
the main reason.
Daniel's learning about himself right now. I don't think you think
Title of the show, Daniel learns about himself and
Daniel-
he doesn't like it.
Daniel
and he's
doesn't
still
think-
better than Haley Van Lith.
I'm as good Daniel doesn't think I'm as good an athlete as Travis Hunter. Daniel
No.
thinks if somebody could do what Travis Hunter did, it would be me.
Yeah.
It would be like 95% of receivers.
No. I think Daniel thinks if I were doing what Travis Hunter does, I would be upset because I wasn't good enough. Because I would be like, I'm not good enough. I'm not one of the best cornerbacks, and I'm not one of the best receivers. I think
But
that's
at
what
a
Daniel
point,
is saying. He's looking at it and he's going, that's not good enough. I can play both ways, and if I were playing both ways at a college level, I would want to be actually the best at that.
Rewind to Bearcats days, Daniel. Were you a top 5 receiver and a top 5 corner?
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
100%.
Exactly. That's why this bothers you.
Did I have any touchdowns scored over me in a full season?
One, and it was questionable. Did you let it up, or did
It was
someone
a
else?
post route and a cover 3.
Daniel's face, Daniel, your face literally went.
Is the post route?
Questionable.
I remember the thing
the
that you didn't want me
definition
to
of
remember.
questionable.
I forget everything, and I remember the thing you didn't want me to remember.
Is a post route the cornerback's
Safety's
in a
responsibility.
cover 3?
Safety's responsibility.
It's the safety's
Over
responsibility.
the top.
Only
If it went over the
point
top, yes.
is that Justin was right because he said questionable,
Yes.
and you were like, "I'm gonna question that."
I had forgotten about that. I had remembered the best part about that season. And to be honest, I'm not sure if we threw well enough for me to be a top 5 receiver.
That's fair too.
But
Because there were some
skill-wise,
talented receivers.
how
There were
many?
some-
4? So you were top 5.
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
Daniel,
I don't know.
At his peak in
I don't know.
Bearcats semi-pro football was arguably a top 5 corner and a top 5 wide
I was a
receiver.
better free safety. Dude, free safety was awesome. Because you didn't have to do anything but like hang out, play center field, and catch garbage quarterback throws. Had like 3 interceptions in one game just hanging out.
I feel a tiny bit bad about pushing that particular button.
Okay.
About
I couldn't tackle worth crap.
About
Sorry.
the one touchdown that was questionable.
Yeah.
I apologize.
It's all right.
I remembered you telling me that.
Yeah.
And I brought it back. And
Yeah.
I
Could I have stopped it? Yes, I could have
Okay.
stopped it. But
Had
was
you-
it my fault? Technically, no.
No. Not your fault. Okay, so Daniel. By the way, Stump Daniel is brought to you by the law office of Jeffrey A. Damashevitz.
No, Daniel says, now let's talk about rugby. Yeah, rugby, not top 5. And Daniel hurt me real bad. And then got up and tackled somebody else like I didn't mean anything, which hurt me emotionally even more.
Daniel, what do you think about how well you would know the career path of certain Seattle Mariners players?
I think I would do okay. Also, the Mariners just won, by the way, so thank goodness.
Nice.
Oh.
Otherwise, Hannah might literally have hit me over the head without me looking.
Is that 6 series in a row?
6 series in a row. Yeah.
They
While overcoming injuries to Victor Robles, Ryan Bliss, who's not huge, but he
Robles
was
is
playing
hurt.
well.
He's the only good hitter we have.
Dude, he got hurt when they got swept by the Giants right before they started
Oh, am I
this
mixing
streak.
up with Polanco? I am.
Well, Polanco also, by the way,
Polanco is the best hitter, I think.
I mixed
Polanco
up
hit a
Victor
nuke
Robles
today?
and Polanco.
but Polanco had 2 hits at least today. Yeah.
I
Dude,
literally
Polanco's been on
thought that
fire.
Robles and Polanco were the same person.
Understandable.
So, bad job by me.
You racist.
Isn't
And
Robles had a much higher.
Hannah's very upset with me right now.
like he was much higher rated coming into the league, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Like he was
Well,
a
I don't
huge
know.
prospect.
I don't know
didn't
because
work out.
Polanco's been in the league forever, so I honestly
Okay.
he could have been really highly
Yeah.
rated, but Robles was like super highly touted. Yes. Polanco's
Career
been,
path.
career path.
I'm going to tell you.
Is this because of when you posted a picture of Ken Griffey Jr. and Julio Rodriguez in our group chat, and how like their first 3 years were kind of comparable, and I went like ballistic?
It has nothing to do with
Okay.
that.
There's
Also,
nothing to do with pushing your buttons, Daniel. Why
speaking
would
of
you think that?
speaking of things that I know I do just because it will push your buttons,
Okay.
I did. I put that I put that graphic up knowing, oh, this is gonna bother Daniel. But only minorly. Like
Only-
if something's gonna really bother
Day by
you, I
day,
won't do it.
Daniel has more in common with Francis.
Oh no.
The other day, I went to work and I saw Francis and he looked at me and I was like, "What are you looking at?"
Dude, How does that feel? The other day you went to work. I haven't been to work in ages.
That sounds awesome.
I don't know what day it is.
It's Sunday.
You know,
It's Sunday, Daniel.
right. We record on Sundays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm going to give you the year that a player played for.
What
certain
year
teams.
is it?
It's 2025.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the year that a player played for certain teams and
Okay.
how long they played there. I'm going
Alright.
to give you their whole career path. And you're going to name the player.
Oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is another idea I stole from the Pitch Clock segment on
Dude.
Dan Le Batard show.
I love Dan Le Batard. He's a loony.
I also... I didn't want
I don't know if I agree with him enough to say I love him now that I think about it, but his show ideas are pretty darn
Stuff they do
good.
on their show is funny.
Yes.
I didn't want to be unfair on this because I could have gone totally obscure. Every player that I picked played for the Mariners, and every player, with the exception of one, and I'll tell you when we get there, was an all-star at least once.
Oh, okay.
So this player came into the league with the Dodgers in '98, played with the Dodgers until 2004, then played with the Mariners from 05 to 09. The Red
Adrian
Sox,
Beltre. No,
You
never
wanna
mind.
Wait till the end.
I should wait until I did. You said Red Sox after that.
The Red Sox in 2010.
Never mind.
And
Rescinded that. I was trying to be super cool and then was super not.
And then the Texas Rangers from 2011 through 2018.
Wait, say that again? Wait, start from the Mariners on.
Okay, Mariners from 05 through 09. Red Sox for 1 year in 2010. And then Rangers from 11 through 18.
Oh, it is Adrian Beltre.
It is Adrian Beltre. Good job. You
I forgot
that he
about the
played for the Red Sox.
I forgot he played for the Red Sox.
Adrian Beltre, a 4-time All-Star, all with teams other than the Mariners.
That's so funny because at that point I was like, it can't be that much of a coincidence. He must have played for the Red Sox and I must
Yeah.
have forgotten it.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
He played for the Red Sox?
Yeah, for 1 year. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
He
Okay.
actually,
Well, I feel much better about myself now.
He had a 7.8 WAR for the Red Sox.
Dude, that guy's awesome.
Yeah, that
never
was
wore a
like
cup,
the-
hit in the
what-
testicle.
That was
Really?
Yeah. Third basemen and catchers who never wear cups are nutso. One of my best teammates ever played both of those positions, never wore a cup. And I was like, you're insane.
the year.
Catcher seems
More dangerous?
more-
Probably, yes.
I feel like
I mean, for the most
well,
part, when you get to a certain level, catcher is the only position you wear a cup, right?
you don't have to.
No, I think most major leaguers wear cups.
Okay.
Because it usually is a story when they don't.
I would've
But
thought
maybe it's
mostly-
only when they get hit in the
I would have
nuts.
thought mostly they don't wear a cup, but like a few guys do.
I was just
know.
thinking that catcher feels like a thing where you're not really giving up athleticism, whereas in the infield, it's at least getting in your way.
We're descending into
Like,
conversation like before the show.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
know why a catcher would not wear a cup.
Right? Yeah. Also, infielders, you're like, okay, at that level, there's really not many bad hops.
Yeah, that's true. too.
Like, if you
This
grew
is-
up
This is a
playing...
professionally groomed infield.
If you grew up on the practice fields of Hoquiam High School, the gravel pit that it was, you dang well wore a cup. Except for my buddy, who didn't, and yet his hands were the best I've ever seen, and he never got hit in the nuts.
The only player on the list
Freaking
without
Brett Turpin. And by the way, his kid Knight
Knight.
is the one.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, and,
Yeah, Turpin's
and we
dad.
have little
Yeah.
Turpins.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So the Turpin swimmers were okay.
yep. He
All right.
protected him.
Daniel.
That's hilarious.
Daniel. This is the only player on the list who doesn't have an all-star appearance.
Daniel says they're non-nutso, really.
Came into the league in 1986 as a California Angel,
And this is a non-all-star.
non-all-star.
Okay.
Played with the California Angels until he was traded to Cleveland mid-season in 1990. Played 1 year in Houston in 91. Baltimore from 92 to 94. Texas from 95 to 99.
Ugh.
And then was a Seattle Mariner from 2000 and 2004 when he retired. This is a
2000 to 2004.
Yep. And his
Not an all-star.
Not an all-star. Career
you-
spanned from 86 to 04.
But you picked him because this is like wheelhouse. Not only wheelhouse Daniel Hargrove baseball fan, like late 90s, but like wheelhouse Mariners late or like early 2000s.
You're trying to read my intentions, and it's not going to work. It might. Sometimes you get it.
Are all of these position players? Is it both position players and pitchers?
This one is a position player. There's one pitcher in the mix here. This one's a position player. I have 5 total.
Can
by
you
the way.
say the teams again?
Yep. California Angels from 86 to 89, and then traded to the Cleveland Indians in 90, and then Houston 91, Orioles from 92 to 94, Rangers from 95 to 99, and then Mariners from 2000 to 04.
I'm going to go with one of my favorite rando players here. I'm going to say Mark McLemore.
That is correct. You're 2 for 2.
Yes!
Mark McLemore, good call.
Yes!
I did
love that guy.
I picked Mark McLemore for 2 reasons. One is because I know he's one of your favorite players, and
Yes.
also because there's a Mark McLemore from Oregon State who played in the majors for a little bit.
Is there really?
In the 90s.
Nice.
Which I think came up in a Stump Daniel once a long time ago.
That's probably why Daniel likes him. He
And-
doesn't even know it. but
Also,
that's why.
the weird fact as I was driving out here, the starting pitcher for the Marlins today, he played college ball for Minnesota.
Okay.
This was his second time pitching at Safeco Field because he pitched against the Oregon State Beavers at Safeco Field. Adley Rutschman hit a 2-run nuke off of him, and they lost the game 2-1.
Okay, Daniel, here's the only pitcher on the list. Came into the league in 05 with the Florida Marlins. Played 1 year in 2007 for the New York Mets. Then was with the Mariners from 09 to 2012. 1 year with the LA Angels in 13. Was with the Kansas City Royals from 14 to 17. And then played for the Mets in 18. And then in 19 was traded from the Mets to the Phillies. And that was the end of his career.
What?
Started with the Marlins
In 95?
In 05.
In 05.
2 years with the Marlins, 1 year with the Mets. 4 years in Seattle from 09 to 2012. 1 year with the Angels.
Oh, dude, those are rough years.
4 with the Royals. The Royals is actually where he had his All-Star appearance.
09 to 2012.
Yeah, and then the Mets in 18, the Mets in 19, traded to the Phillies, and then his career was over in 19.
But he was an all-star for the Royals.
In 2017.
But he didn't go back to the Mariners.
Did not
Okay,
go
so that-
back to the Mariners.
That takes away Raul Ibanez.
It's a pitcher.
Oh,
He's the
pitcher.
only pitcher in the 5.
Cliff Lee? No. Don't forget I said that.
I mean, Cliff Lee was like a Cy Young level pitcher
Yeah.
for a little while there. This was
Francis says, don't half-ass 2 things, whole-ass 1 thing. Ron freaking Swanson. Correct, sir.
there was a stretch of
Francis
Mariners
accidentally
baseball
made a good comment.
in which the pitching was really good and the batting was really bad. Oh, wait, that's all of Mariners baseball since 2002.
Oh, this was a weird time. So this is like the Vargas era, Chris Young era, all-star pitcher, though. I'm going to say this is one of those courtesy all-star things where they're like, oh, this team needs an all-star.
It was the Royals, so you're probably
Yeah.
right.
I'm going to say, was it Vargas? What was that guy's first name?
Justin?
Carlos? No, that doesn't sound
I'll
right.
give it to you if you get the last
Was it
name.
Justin Vargas, Andrew?
That
were
was
you
what I
actually
was-
guessing, or were
I
you
was
just saying Justin's
literally
name?
Guessing.
I'll say Vargas.
You didn't go Doug Fister on this one?
Douglas
Who was the other guy?
Pfister.
Yeah, actually, the answer is Jason Vargas.
Jason!
So you got it
Jason
right. I'm going to
Vargas.
give you that one.
Jason Vargas.
When you
It was
said,
a J name.
When you said it was the Vargas era, I was like, all right, whatever happens, I'm going to give it to him. Yeah, you got it. The
Who
fact
knows
that
the Vargas era?
Vargas had an era.
I
I was trying to tell you, remember when Vargas and Pfister were there and the pitching
Yes.
was really good, but
Yeah.
the hitting was really bad?
Yeah,
Yeah. You're 3 for 3.
Pitching
dude.
was really good, but the hitting was really bad. You mean the entire history
Eh,
of the
Since
Mariners
2002,
franchise?
yes.
Andrew, well done on the J name, by the way. No, because I was thinking, like, I was not thinking,
Jose.
like, a Latin name. And you were like, no, it's like Justin or something like that.
It's Joshua Vargas.
Who says the Vargas era of the Mariners? That's how bad that time frame of
That's
the
really
Mariners
weird.
was so bad.
Or who was the pitcher who was like their starting pitcher for like 3 years in a row, but he wasn't very good? More recently, Marco
Gonzalez.
Yeah, Marco Gonzalez, yeah.
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 Very
the
similar
Marco
to the
Gonzalez era.
Yeah, very similar to the Vargas area. Yeah, era. Definitely.
All right, you're 3 for 3, doing pretty good here.
Okay.
We're moving on to a player who came into the league in '97 with Montreal, played there until 2004, had 2 seasons in '05 and '06 with the Washington Nationals, and then ended his career in '07-08 with the Mariners. This is a position player. It's
Okay.
an infielder, if that helps.
This isn't right because the time frames don't line up. But anytime I hear Montreal and then Mariner, I quickly think John Olerud.
Mm-hmm.
But the time frames don't line up here because you said
Well-known Coug.
Well, yeah, go
Well,
Cougs.
Go Cougs.
One of the greatest two-way players, by the way, in college sports.
Yeah.
Like,
Speaking of players, Daniel
And pro
hates.
sports.
yeah. Let's see. Montreal, then where?
Montreal,
Nationals?
then Washington for 2 years.
So
and
then when Montreal moved to Washington, he stayed with the team.
it's really close to the Vargas era.
Of all the weird things to say.
Right before the Vargas era. It's literally right before the Vargas era.
Okay, can you say it again? So Montreal, Nationals, and then what year did he?
07-08 with Seattle. And
Oh.
he was a 3-time All-Star.
Is this Jose Vidro?
Jose Vitro, the guy you forgot existed.
I forgot he existed so many times that I finally remembered. Jose Vidro.
I'm impressed.
Yes.
Good job, Daniel. You're 4 for 4. I got one more.
You helped me on that journey. You've mentioned Jose Vidro so many times
The
that I'm
only
finally
thing that I
stuck.
remember about Jose Vidro is he was the guy who batted 300
Dude.
and only got singles. So
Do you remember-
he batted 300 and everyone hated him.
Yeah.
'Cause
Do you
he could never
remember,
get anything.
like, when we say someone's like a walking bucket?
Yeah.
He was a walking hit.
He was a walking hit.
And yet nobody liked him.
Nobody liked him. He was a bad second baseman. Like,
So
bad.
It's so bad. I have a spot for him in my hierarchy of position players.
All right, that's what we're
coming
getting
up.
to next.
Oh.
I got one more of these for you. This is a fun game. This
This
player
is awesome.
actually came into the league as a Mariner.
Okay.
Played for Seattle from 2004 to 2010 when he got traded to the Colorado Rockies. This is a position player. He played infield.
To the Rockies.
Then in 2011, he played for the Mariners, the Rockies, and the Florida Marlins.
In 1 year?
And then in 2012, he played for Cleveland and the Chicago White Sox, and then his career was over. But he spent the first several years of his career from 2004 to 2010 with Seattle and 1 All-Star appearance.
Position player.
Position play. Infield.
Courtesy All-Star appearance.
I would give him utility infielder, but I think of him as a second baseman.
Even before you said that, I'm leaning. And what was the years he was with the Mariners?
2004 to 2010. He was
Jose
traded-
Lopez.
Jose Lopez is correct. You are good at this game. You're 5 for 5. Congratulations, Daniel. You have successfully conquered this edition of Stump Daniel, which is
Dude.
brought to you by the law office of Jeffrey A. Damashevitz.
That game's awesome. Like
Yeah.
you weighted it in my favor with guys who made All-Star appearances, except
Yeah.
for who was the guy who didn't?
Macklemore. Yeah.
But that was my guy.
That's true.
But that game was fun.
That was
Jose freaking Lopez.
Also, I picked guys from like a general era I thought you would know, but
Yes.
I thought that you
Yes.
might not remember that Jose Lopez was an all-star. He had
I remember
one all-star appearance.
He was
for
a
the
courtesy.
Mariners,
He's
yeah.
one of those courtesy all-stars
Yeah,
in the
just like
Vargas
Jason
era.
Vargas. He did play in the Vargas era. He did. You're right. It's my blitzball now.
Oh.
Ugh.
All right. So, at one point, when I was during the last few weeks, you guys sent me a message, and I don't remember what happened. I blacked out a little bit. What happened? How did this come to be? But I have I've got a whole script written out, and I don't remember why I made it.
Is it the positional hierarchy
It's
thing?
the positional hierarchy thing. But you said this sounds like a good thing for me to have when I come back to the show, and so I did it, apparently.
Okay.
Apparently.
So do you remember why this happened?
No.
For some reason, this goes all the way back to, though, Francis's stupid comments about Mariano Rivera and how he's the only unanimous.
When he's really just a failed starting pitcher.
He's a failed starting pitcher.
Yeah.
So in my brain, as we have learned throughout this episode, that I have some major defects. And so apparently, I think that every baseball position starts out with, are you a shortstop?
And if you're not a shortstop, where do you go?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Are you a shortstop?
Okay. It's not just that people have different skill sets. It's if you're good enough to be something.
Yeah.
And if
yeah.
you're not good enough, we move you to somewhere else.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it all starts out with, are you a shortstop?
Wouldn't it be pitcher?
No.
No?
What? No.
Okay.
What?
Pitchers aren't even good baseball players, Daniel.
Justin, what? What are you
I thought
saying?
Your best player plays pitcher.
No.
Your best player doesn't pitch?
Your best player plays shortstop,
Okay.
and usually in Little League, you're like, yeah, you throw hard, you can pitch too, and you're most likely really good at that also,
Okay.
as we're going to learn from this hierarchy.
Okay.
But do good pitchers also play shortstop?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, but only when they're a good shortstop and then they pitch.
Who was your shortstop when you played? Was it Daniel Hargrove?
Yes. You weren't supposed to bring that up, man. Now this whole thing sounds flawed.
I'm sorry.
But it wasn't always me. It wasn't always
If Daniel
me.
was a second baseman, it would have been hierarchy starting at second base.
Well, that's the thing, though. That's the thing. I was a second baseman.
Okay.
And when I got to college, I moved back to second base.
I think of Daniel as a second
I'm
baseman.
a second
and that
baseman.
isn't being mean to him.
Yeah.
Think of Daniel as a center fielder who
Our
covers all the ground.
Sadly, our shortstop, well, that actually fits too. Okay. Sadly,
I
our
should
shortstop.
stop talking and let you just go.
Sadly, our shortstop had an attitude problem and then stopped playing baseball.
Who was it?
I'm not going to name names.
Okay.
He's still in the area. He might listen to this. I don't know.
Okay. Who was it, though?
It was Kyle Chapman.
Okay.
But he was so good. The dude was an athletic freak. He was a shortstop.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to this. Are you a shortstop?
No.
It's either yes or if it's yes, you're the best.
That's a no for me, dog. I've never been a shortstop.
Okay, so no, because you struggle fielding ground balls, but check all the other needed boxes.
I don't have the range either.
So that means there's an exception to the rule I'll get to at the end of this.
Okay.
But you check all the other needed boxes. What are those needed boxes? You need to have range, so you need to be fast, you
Yep.
need to be quick, you need to be able to field a ground ball,
Okay.
and you need to have a good arm, a really good arm. Those are the things you need for a shortstop.
What if you have 2 out of 4?
Well, if you struggle fielding ground balls, but you are fast, you have good range,
What if
and you have a good
what
arm,
if you
you're
have
a center fielder.
What if you have a good arm
Okay?
and can field ground balls, but
I'll
aren't
get to
fast
that.
and have range?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll get to that. But first, I moved to the
'Cause
outfield
that's
first.
with someone in this room.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll get to you.
Okay.
So, I'm here. Do you want me to start with infielders?
No, I want you
So
to-
I can talk about
I
you.
want you to do your thing.
Okay. So you can't field a ground ball.
Okay.
But you have everything else.
Okay.
You're fast.
Yeah.
You have a good arm. You have good range. You're a good defensive baseball player. Just ground balls aren't your thing. Center field.
Okay.
There you go.
Perfect. Julio
You're
Rodriguez.
you're Julio Rodriguez. You're great.
Maybe not with the smile, like the $1 million
Yeah.
smile that he has.
Yeah, maybe not. Now let's say you're not fast enough to play center field, but you have a really good arm.
Okay.
You still have that trait. You play right field.
Right field, yeah.
Yeah.
Ichiro.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he was fast too.
He was fast.
Just
I don't
Canada.
know why.
Vladimir Guerrero, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I honestly don't know why Ichiro slotted in at right field. I think honestly, if Mike Cameron
Yeah,
wasn't the
Cameron
center
probably,
fielder,
yeah.
then Ichiro probably would have been a
Because
center
Cameron
fielder.
was a really good center fielder.
He was a Gold Glove caliber center fielder.
Yeah.
Now let's say you fit those boxes, but you don't have a good arm either. So you're fast. You're a good athlete. You play left field.
Mark McLemore.
Yeah. Well, he was a utility player, so he did everything okay.
Played a lot of left field.
Yeah, he did play a lot of left field.
Stan Javier.
So those are your outfielders.
I'm only an 0-1 Mariners.
Exactly. Yeah, Raul Ibanez,
There you go.
great left fielder.
Yeah, in the Vargas era.
Yes. Now
Guys,
let's
This came up because Daniel said that he was hitting nukes off of anchor.
Oh, gosh.
And Justin said, "I hope you adequately shamed him.
Now I'm more-
Otherwise, you're teaching him it's okay to give up dingers." And Daniel said, "I was praising him for throwing strikes his first ever time pitching to me. Oops." And Justin said, "It's okay. He projects as a second base or center fielder anyway." And I said, "Isn't one of those a strong arm position and one a weak arm position?" And Daniel was like, "Hold up. I got a whole hierarchy of positions."
So we started this. That's what happened.
Andrew, you are very astute. Very astute with that. Because now let's get to the infield side of things.
Okay.
So as shortstop to center field, pretty common.
Okay. So that's
It just
like tier
means-
1, tier 2?
Tier 1, tier 2, but the tier 2 is because you can't field a ground ball.
Okay.
But you're a superior athlete with a good arm.
Tier 1 is shortstop and it's alone.
Yes, tier 1. Well,
Seems like you're
there's a
saying
couple
that.
of exceptions.
Okay.
There's some interesting things here.
Okay.
So
Griffey?
now we go. You're onto something there.
Okay.
Now we go. Are you a shortstop? No, but it's because you don't have a great arm. Cool. You're a second baseman. You check all the other boxes. You're quick. You field
Jose
ground
Vidro.
balls. You have good
You're-
range.
you're an
No,
infielder.
Jose Vidro. He was a butcher at second base. He should have been a first baseman.
I think he did play a little first base towards the end there.
Yeah. You're a second baseman. You're a good player. You just don't have a good arm. I was a good player. But did I have a Kyle Chapman arm? No. Kyle Chapman had a cannon. He played quarterback for a reason.
If only he didn't have such a bad attitude.
I feel bad that I said that now, but the dude was a stud athlete. He should have been our shortstop. He was such a stud. Anyway.
Common name, though. Multiple Kyle.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's tons of them around here. Yeah. He focused on football. You know, maybe I'll just go with that. He focused on football. Justin, you've got me in trouble. He's a lot bigger than me.
Daniel's cardinal rule is don't antagonize people bigger than him.
This is my favorite day.
It's make friends with people bigger than you. Yeah, unless they're on the other team. Then talk smack because all your big friends are right behind you. All right. Are you a shortstop? No, because you don't have elite range.
Okay.
So then you can't play center and you can't play second base.
Right.
But you can field a ground ball and you have a good arm. So you play third base.
That's where I live.
That's where you live. That's where you live. Absolutely. Not a good enough arm. Or maybe not a good enough fielder to play third base.
Or if you're old and you can't throw anymore, that's also where I live.
You play
Not
first
enough
base.
good enough arm.
You play first base.
Yep.
All right. Now here we go. Now this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Are you a shortstop? No. You are a catcher. I don't know why you were put there originally. But if you are good at it, you are a badass.
Yeah.
And I thank you. I thank you for playing catcher. Because I don't want to do it. But you are awesome. And a wide variety of athletes with a wide variety of talents play catcher.
Yes.
I don't know why you were put there,
You're unique.
but I thank you.
Yeah. You got stuck in a spot that nobody really wants to play, and you shined there.
Yes.
Congratulations.
And-
also, it's really hard.
Yes. And are you slow because you play there, or do you play there because you're slow? I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
But thank you.
Works the same.
Thank you for doing that.
Catcher almost feels like a position that you're good at because of your mentality rather than your talent.
Could be.
Or both.
Yeah.
Or both. Talent.
But like if you could be talented enough to play another position, but if you have the mentality to play catcher, you might end up there.
I will interject slightly. When I was like 12, and I ended up playing catcher because all the other kids were like, "He's played catcher before. Make him do it."
Yeah.
So I became the catcher, and I
the,
got
the
decent
only
at it.
thing I'll say is you don't need good range to play catcher.
Right.
But I've seen people who are really good at it have good range too. So I'm not going to be like, "Oh, you're a catcher, you must be slow." No, that's not true. Knight Turpin is not slow. Let's put it that way. But he's a really good catcher, so they're like, "Oh yeah, you're going to play there because
Ronnie
it's
Espedal.
stupid important." Ronnie Espedal played catcher, yes. Wow. a part of one of the
Colton
best.
Grubb.
Ronnie Espedal was a part of one of the coolest plays I've ever seen. They were playing against, I think it was Tenino, and they were district championship game. Ball hit to the wall in the bottom of the 7th inning. Run scores. The tying run is coming around third base. Relay from crud, what's his name? Do you know the kid who's a really good bowler from Hoquiam, who sometime he pops up on our feed because he does like college and professional bowling?
I remember him, but I don't remember his name.
His older brother was playing left field.
Okay.
Throws it into Josh Steen.
Okay.
Not Jared, Josh Steen. Perfect relay to home plate to Ronnie Espedal. Catches it, tags the kid out to win the game. One of the coolest play. Anyway, sorry. Anyway. Where was I going with this? I
violated the no grubs allowed rule by saying Colton Grubb,
Right,
and then
right.
you were like, I better talk
Anyway,
about
Ronnie and Colton could probably play shortstop.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Right.
But they're also stud catchers,
Yeah.
and somehow they ended up doing it. So you're like, sweet, thank you for doing that.
Right.
Right. All right. Now, also the other exception to the rule. Are you left-handed?
first base.
I'm sorry. You now either play first base or outfield.
Yeah.
Are you Ken Griffey Jr.? You play center field. Because you could probably play shortstop, except you're left-handed, and that's weird, and
Okay.
people go, ugh,
Good
that's
point.
weird.
That's where
You
it
play
came
outfield.
back to Griffey. Okay.
It's not
Uh,
even just that it's weird. It's that you're working across your body.
You have a
Like,
disadvantage.
yeah.
Yeah. Who's the kid who plays for Aberdeen? Gosh. Yeah, I coached him a little bit in Babe Ruth, but then he was too good to play for us. And
Bubba Jones?
No. Well, Bubba's really good too. So I'm not.
Mylan Bruner?
No. Adley's in my head because of Adley Rutschman, but the kid who's like really good, he's left-handed, and so he played first or outfield. But I personally had a senior Babe Ruth coach said that when he was 13, he played for their senior Babe Ruth tournament team, and he was their best hitter on the team. And now he's like a junior or a senior. I can't remember his name. This is gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, he's a really good baseball player, but he's left-handed, so you don't play shortstop.
Right.
So. Where am I? Okay, catcher. Oh, are you a unicorn that can't do anything in the field, but you can hit really well? Then you play DH.
Edgar Martinez.
We find a spot for you to hit because you can't do anything else, but you're one of those weird people who you're not athletic. You're David Ortiz. You're Edgar Martinez. You mash. Can't do anything else.
Frank Thomas after 10 years in the league.
Absolutely. All right, now, can
There's
you not
more?
do any of these things?
None of the things.
Can you do none of the things I just mentioned?
Should you play baseball at all?
Have you tried pitching?
Be coming out of the bullpen? Or like,
Are you a starting pitcher?
oh my.
Can you throw? Can you throw real hard?
Are you
Bogey.
a starting pitcher? You're either yes, you're a starting pitcher, or no, because you're only good for an inning. Then you're a closer. Or do you choke in the last inning? Or are you not as good as the closer?
This is why you got so offended about my starting off with your best player being a pitcher.
Yeah.
You're going through all the positions before you get to pitcher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Earlier, I was gonna ask, could a catcher be
I guess the one
somebody who is a pitcher but doesn't have the arm?
Daniel,
That's a good question.
your brother was a pitcher.
I know. Do you think that's rooted in my issues as well?
Do you think that might have something to do with this hierarchy?
You're in like second or third tier of the hierarchy, and your own brother,
Yeah.
who was a great pitcher,
Yes.
is like bottom level.
But
of the
remember,
hierarchy.
you can be
No.
up in the hierarchy and also good at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, if you're a great shortstop, you can be a great pitcher. But are you a pitcher only?
Yeah.
Should Jimmy have been a pitcher only? That's a question. No, he shouldn't have. I'm sorry, Pat Farmer. Pat Farmer was not a better second baseman than my brother.
Go back to Domino's.
Go back to Domino's, Patrick.
Second baseman.
Your name's Patrick. Pat Farmer was not a better second baseman than my brother. And not a better hitter. And that was my first beef with Coach
Could have
Jump.
just bunted every time.
Dude, Jimmy was so good. Like, the fact that Jimmy became a pitcher only as a sophomore
I
was
feel like
dumb.
you're overcompensating now.
Yes, but also, you've seen my brother play sports.
Yeah.
Why was he only a pitcher?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Also,
Mentality.
went back
No.
this week and listened to his Easter sermon. Super good.
Okay.
Really good. You should listen to it.
I'll go listen to
Yeah,
it.
it was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, Pastor Jimmy
But that's the
Hargrove.
thing. You can be a shortstop and a pitcher, but you can't. Some pitchers can't be shortstops.
Are you saying that any shortstop could be a pitcher?
100% of shortstops could jump in and pitch serviceably.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, and
I'm in.
Maybe not.
I'm
when,
in.
Maybe not when you get to major leagues.
Yeah,
but like
because you've
high
been-
school,
yeah.
college, high school, junior college level. 100% of
Yeah.
shortstops could jump in.
Let's
If
put it
you
this way.
if you had a
Because they've got
position
the
player
arm.
that you were like, I don't know anything about any of you, but you're my shortstop.
Could you pitch an inning if I
You're
needed
going to be
to?
the guy who needs to pitch an inning for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of times I saw somebody throughout my career of baseball who was all-star shortstop. The amount of times I saw that person also recruited to pitch because he throws 95.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way.
Purely on velocity.
Let's put it this way. Everybody but me.
And you project as a second
I
baseman.
project as a second baseman.
Just like Anchor.
Exactly. Well, I don't know about Anchor. I'm hoping
Center
he.
fielder, maybe.
I'm hoping he has a better arm
He
than
might
I
be a
do.
center fielder.
I hope he has a better arm.
If he's a center fielder, he's higher on your hierarchy. He's second tier.
I'm not sure if
I think
my family has better arms than yours. So.
center.
How many arms, though?
Center.
A normal amount.
Well, maybe he's got his other uncle's arm, okay? Maybe he's got Jimmy's arm.
You want him to be a starting
what I'm
pitcher so he's
hoping for.
lower on the hierarchy?
No! Jimmy shouldn't have been a starting pitcher. Jimmy would have been a shortstop had it not been for Zach Reinvan, who was awesome.
Top tier. What's the top tier position?
Shortstop.
Anything else on the top tier with them?
No, well, maybe catcher. Catcher and shortstop.
Catcher and shortstop. What's second tier?
Second base, third base, and center field.
What's third tier?
First base, right field,
Fourth tier.
left field, DH.
And then fifth tier is starting pitcher. And
Fifth
then
tier
sixth
starting
tier-
pitcher.
Sixth tier is
Don't
relief
you-
If
pitcher.
you're an elite starting pitcher, that can climb. But you're pitching because you weren't really good at anything else, but you threw hard.
See, I love the fact that you started with this really complex hierarchy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, rank them in tiers. And you were like, yeah, all starting pitchers are worse than me.
I mean, they only pitch every 5 days.
Agreed.
Unless they're also the shortstop
I'm with you.
or the catcher.
They're
you know?
also the.
I'm with you.
You
This
know?
might be limited to the lower levels of baseball.
I haven't been a starting
that's the
pitcher
thing.
since I was
If
10,
it's the
so I'm
higher
with you.
levels of baseball, then they pitch because they weren't very good at anything else. But then you have setup men, and then you have long relievers, who I listed as, let's see, if you choke in the last inning or not as good as the closer, you're a setup man.
Yeah.
Can you pitch but tend to get rocked? Then welcome to long relief and mop-up duty until we give someone else a try to be good.
Yeah.
And then if you can't do these things, have you tried coaching?
Those who can't do, teach.
Yeah. And then if you can't coach, have you tried catching bullpens? Pitching batting practice might be in there somewhere too. But that's where I'm at. What do you think?
So Mariano Rivera, as a closer, is the lowest possible tier, or do you have
No.
long relievers?
No,
in-
it's
Long
above
relief setup.
long relief,
He's above
yeah.
setup
Okay,
pitchers and
okay,
long
okay.
relievers. But it is very well known that he is a converted center fielder who at some point probably wasn't good enough to play shortstop. So
and failed as a starting
Presumably,
pitcher.
he was playing center field because he couldn't play shortstop.
exactly.
Couldn't play shortstop, couldn't play center field, failed as a starting pitcher.
He did, and we know that he failed as a starting pitcher because he was a starting pitcher for a while.
Most
Yeah.
overrated player in the history of all sports, Mariano
Yes,
Rivera.
and it's not because he wasn't a good closer.
yeah, it's just that closers not important.
Not as
No.
important.
Not good. Closers are not good.
Yeah.
Closers are important. The
If you
fact
get to
that
the
he
point
was
that
the
you're a
first,
They're important,
the
but they're
fact
not
that
good.
the fact that he was the first unanimous Hall of Famer as
Yes.
one of the least important players on a baseball field,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a relief pitcher, that is insane.
If you're a closer, if you're a closing pitcher, you are one of the least good players on your team.
Especially,
Indisputably.
especially because
I just made a
it
lot of
was-
pitchers very angry. I'm sure Skylar should
Yeah, he's
text
all right.
me.
He's all right.
Daniel Gross says, so Daniel is saying
Hold
he
on.
can be good top or bottom.
I did mention Skylar's name when you said, "Are
Yeah.
you a pitcher who can't play any other positions?" And I was like, "Skylar Bovey."
Yeah, that was on you, Barrel.
That was bad. That was my
Yeah,
bad.
Skylar can play on my softball team anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only if he pitches.
Not mine. I don't want him. I don't want him batting.
You want him on our wiffle ball team, though,
Yeah,
right?
he's pretty good though.
Yeah.
No, Skylar would be a good hitter compared to normal people.
By the way, I heard the wiffle ball tournament date has been announced.
Yeah.
It also is the same day as my company golf tournament.
Oh.
I'm skipping the company golf tournament.
Yeah.
I am one of the organizers. I haven't told them yet, but yeah, no, I'm not going. I got to go
Okay,
play wiffle
good.
ball.
Jason wants to know if we're gonna have 1 or 2 teams, so I got to reach out to the guys and
Yeah.
find out if we're gonna have a actually good
Can
team.
Andrew actually come this year? Or is he going to
don't
be
know.
Oh,
sailing?
hold on a second. Let me check my text.
Where's
messages.
sailing line up on my hierarchy?
I actually don't know. On your hierarchy, I assume low down.
July 26th.
Are there sharks involved? Even lower.
July 26th.
Dude, not gonna lie, I looked at the screen while I took a drink of this earlier, and the shark scared me because it was like biting my finger. I was like, ah.
July 26th. I'm really bad
Yeah,
at typing.
I think
now
it's
for
July
some reason.
26th.
I just typed in. I Google searched Hobie Cat Racing.
That's not a good idea.
Isn't it? What's the name of the thing you race in, Andrew, or you are involved in?
Your
Quinault-
Seattle Mariners are in first place.
Quinault something.
Probably.
The Quinault Regatta,
Regatta?
R-E-G-A-T-T-A.
EGATTA.
I'm not good at keeping track of dates.
Okay. Anyway, the wiffle ball tournament is July 26th. So we will figure out if we're gonna have Andrew there, and we'll figure out if we're gonna do like 2 teams like we did last year. Or if we're
Will
gonna just do
the
one
the
team.
thing we'll figure out is will we need a player
My-
from our show to
Yeah.
be with the all-star team we put together? Meaning, will Daniel get to play with the good team, or will Daniel be stuck with the old fart
Do
team?
we dig
winning
into the NIL and try to get the grubs?
Dude,
No grubs.
do we steal the grubs from their own
I
team?
tried it last year. It didn't work, and they like me. At least Colton does.
Do they? Though?
I don't know about Cade.
What
Yeah.
What did you try
Caden's
to pay
hard to
them
read.
with?
I didn't try to pay them anything. That's why I'm saying if we dig into the
okay,
NIL funds this
Yeah.
year, can we get grubs?
If we have
And if we
a
get grubs, does Colson
cooler
Hendrickson
full
fall
of
off?
drinks.
I was gonna say what?
I said if we have a cooler full of drinks.
What kind of drinks?
Like Gatorade?
I
water?
was just saying drinks.
Like
Oh.
juice? Are we doing like an Arrested Development
was-
thing here? Do the grubs
There's
really
no
like
punch.
juice?
No.
This party's gonna be off the hook.
No, I was just if so my thought was the young all-star team that we had last year.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
like a lot of those kids are off to college. Like they're all off to college.
Dude, we legit had every player was a college athlete last year on our team who
Okay.
still couldn't beat the freaking grubs.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Okay,
I mean,
but
one of them was a track star, so it didn't, and a football player. It didn't really help us out baseball wise, but I would take Peyton in like most
He did
situations.
pretty good. He hit a couple of dingers.
He did. I'll
But-
take Peyton. Was I the bad part?
Yeah, you and Jeremy.
I hit nukes. I hit nukes,
No.
and I pitched
That was the
serviceably.
thing, Daniel.
Who's
none of-
Jeremy?
None of
Jeremy's
you were bad.
old.
You
I'm
guys
old
all-
too.
No, none of
I
you
just
were
said
bad.
Jeremy's old, and I'm in the same age bracket. That wasn't very nice.
None of you were bad. All of you did well.
We
You just ran into grubs. Like everyone on the team was good. That was the problem. But the thing is, like all those guys have gone off to play college sports.
Forrest
and
says he's out of town that weekend.
last year
He was
a
on our
lot
team
of
last year.
Me convincing college athletes, you won't get hurt. It's gonna be fine. And
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
true.
if I can do that again.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So-
None of us got hurt though.
That's true. So
Look,
I just
we
don't
didn't
know.
Get hurt last year.
Although I am gonna say, second year against the grubs, I got to base it off of them
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. No, you guys did good. See, that wasn't the problem. The problem wasn't that you guys were bad. You guys beat everyone until
Except
you
for
got
the freaking grubs,
until
man.
you got to the grubs.
So we need to like Golden State Warriors Kevin Durant it,
What if we just got one of them?
dude. If we could split the
which
grubs,
one would you want?
selfishly,
Wait.
selfishly, I want. Wait, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, what if we have two teams? One of them has Colton and one of them has Caden,
That would be awesome.
and then we see which one we can build a
This
team
is
around.
this is what we
Okay,
need to
that's
do.
where we have Team
we
Colton,
need to
Team
pit
Caden.
them against each other.
I'll let them. We'll give them free reign
Yeah.
to recruit who you want,
Yes.
and then we'll fill in the rest of the roster.
Absolutely.
We will pay for your admission fee and your
Yes.
uniforms.
I'm in for this. This
Okay.
is great.
All
We are
right.
going to pit them against each other.
Yeah.
If they will, but they're so tight.
They
I don't know
love
if they're
each
going to
other,
do
though.
it.
They really
Put-
love each other.
But I
Quinault-
like this idea.
The Quinault regattas are the first 2 weeks of August.
Oh, so Andrew's in.
Sweet.
I should be able to
That's
play.
great. We'll have Andrew
Um,
and Daniel because he's going
and-
to shirk work.
And selfishly, I want Caden because I'd rather hit off of Colton.
A little bit, but
Caden
also,
is freaking dirty.
when they put the innings limit in last year and Colton came into pitch instead of Caden, he was still
it was
filthy.
still very filthy. Yeah, that's a good point. But he was a little less accurate.
Agreed, yeah.
He was a little
Yes,
less accurate.
Agreed,
yeah.
agreed.
This show has been very long and awesome,
I
by the
love
way.
This, I'm so glad
I
you're
had so
back.
much fun. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me back on the show.
Yes.
I was a little worried you guys wouldn't want me back
Why?
because I
Do you
have
think
a
I
very
like talking?
I have a
Do you
very
think he likes talking to me?
I have a very weak psyche and would have benefited from sports psychology a lot growing up.
I shouted yes out loud when you texted us that you were coming back this week. I was like, yes!
Dude, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
We might have to offer the babysitters more money. We'll see how they're doing when I get home.
I'll pitch
but,
in.
Yeah.
Make them things. Hannah will make them things.
Yeah. Take him a cinnamon roll.
You just obligated your wife for something
You know what?
without asking her first.
She grows tomatoes and she hates tomatoes.
You
can send
hate
some of
tomatoes?
those. Send some tomatoes.
Dude, I hate tomatoes too, but I'm sure we can find somebody who likes them.
Daniel, you need to understand that at our house we are looking for ways to use our sourdough discard.
I like sourdough discard. You Dude,
Hannah just said,
That was-
do I like you? That was diabolical.
off mic,
and
off camera, do I like you?
Super on brand.
She would rather throw her sourdough discard out into her yard
Yeah.
than drop it by my house on her way to work. That hurts me.
Well,
inside.
if Courtney was involved, maybe she would want to. It was just specifically
Yeah,
about
but-
you.
Well, that's the sucky part.
Also,
is I'm
she
the only
didn't
one
say-
in my house who can have gluten.
She didn't
So it
say
literally
she
is me or
didn't like
nobody.
you. She just asked if she liked you.
Again, talking about my psyche, I instantly took that as she doesn't like me.
Well, I think that's going to do it for our
Yeah.
show today. So for Daniel, my co-host Daniel, talking about my Psyche Hargrove.
And for my co-host, Justin, the president and founder of the all-male, only male fan club of Daniel Hargrove.
And
Still creeps me out.
And for our trusty producer, Andrew, do you think I like talking to this guy? Gross.
You've been listening to the scrimmage.